Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
No, this ain't Mexico. It used to be Mexico, mother. And now it's Phoenix, goddammit. I bet you don't leave here and go to Mexico, mother. Mother think they can live in this country and then still be allegiance to another country. If you love Mexico, get the over there. Oh, say, can you see God's early life? What's so
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like, share, and hype button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations, as well as hitting that other link, joining the Telegram group, and making sure that we can circumvent the shadow banning that PukeTube has been doing to the new black media. With that being said, family, we back. We back. I was supposed to be back yesterday. However, I didn't get home until about 7. And y'all know I don't like to start no show, no program, no broadcast after 7 o'clock. Yeah, that's just not my liking unless I'm doing a late night drop, and I ain't did a late night drop in some time now. However, we're here today and we got some things to talk about. I played that first clip at the beginning because there's a lot of anti-American sentiments going on around this war. A lot of folks out here is rooting for, America to fall. They're rooting for America to lose. They're rooting for us to kind of fall to the wayside. And so, I kind of wanted to play that clip at the beginning of Cat Williams because here's the thing. I'm like this. Like I said, if you're a foundational Black American, you have the right to feel how you feel about this country. What was done to our ancestors, that is nobody else's experience but yours. So however you choose to feel about the country, you have all right to choose to feel that way. Everyone else, however, if you are plotting or you're hoping on the downfall of America, if you're hoping that America is going to crumble and go down, you need to move to whatever country you're rooting for. You need to move to whatever country that you're rooting for. Clearly, America is not where you need to be. And I'm just saying this is me saying this from my own opinion. If you are not a foundational Black American, you have no right to disrespect America. No right. We're the only one that has had tried and proven to have every right to critique or speak bad about America, because everything good in America we're responsible for. Let me say that one more time for the people that ain't got it yet. We're the only people that can critique America because everything in America that is good, we are responsible for. So all this, like, I hear a lot of folks talking like America getting their ass whipped. Donald Trump is being punked. Now, there's only one other person that I actually will give that right to. I would say our brother KG, because our brother KG, he don't just be saying the stuff to be saying stuff. He's going to actually break down and analyze situations and things like that. But anybody who's just watching lamestream media and they're taking everything that they're saying as fact without doing any type of research, without doing any type of, analyzing themselves, or not even watching the news, just quite literally hoping and wishing. There's a lot of that going on, especially because they don't like what's going on with the ICE situation right now, especially because a lot of people don't like Donald Trump. I don't have to like Donald Trump to know that I love my country. I don't have to like Donald Trump whatsoever to know that I don't want nothing to happen to this country because my children live here. And by children, I mean my son and my nieces, nephews, y'all's children. We're all family for me. So your children's my nieces, my nephews, they're our children. Our children are here. And they have every right to move forward in a prosperous country because we made it so. Now, for all those who want to, go against America, like I said, there is an entry, but there's also an exit door. You can see yourself stage left. It's that simple. So let's get into the geopolitics of what's going on around the world. Because like I said, there's a lot of folks that they're only hearing what they want to hear. I'm looking at all sides in this situation, and I'm reporting all sides of this situation. Honestly, there is no ulterior motive behind me reporting on the geopolitics. Yes, like I said, I'm for America. So guess what? I'm rooting for America to work it out, whatever the situation may have you. However, I'm not going to report as if, oh, well, America's just out here rep shouting. No, we're going to tell the truth about what's going on over there. And in case a lot of people don't know, there are several news stations that are basically acting as state-sponsored media. For those who don't know, this is how Iran has ran for decades. If they don't want people to know what's going on inside of their country, they turn off the internet, just like the internet is turned off right now over there. People can barely get out what's going on in Iran. So Iran is also, like I said, the only people that's been able to go inside Iran is CNN. CNN was invited into Iran by the Iranians to report the news. And I wonder why. Maybe because, I don't know, they see that CNN does not really like Donald Trump and don't speak highly of him. And that's their business. But you got to understand the politics behind all of this stuff. So you've been hearing CNN quite literally mimicking anything that Iran says. But not just CNN. I've come to find out after watching all these other different news publications outside of America that goddamn India is doing the same thing. Well, the India Times does the same thing. It's like goddamn India Times is sucking on the Johnson of goddamn Iran. They're not even being they're not trying to be sneaky with it. They're not trying to be coy about it. No, they're out there quite literally repeating everything that Iran says as if it's a statement of fact, as if Iran don't use propaganda in the same way that America used propaganda. But Iran does it 10 times worse because of the fact that they will shut down all of the internet to make sure that their propaganda is the only narrative that's being pushed over there. So family. Like I said, you got to be very careful with what you're watching. Yeah, that's a good point, my sister. Sky, Australia Sky News. Yeah, they actually keep it a little bit balanced, as well as Al Jazeera. They keep it a bit balanced as well. You know what I mean? But you can tell, and we, us being foundational Black Americans watching, knowing CNN is the left wing, ABC is left wing, Fox is right wing, News Network, News Nation is right wing. You can tell when a network is leaning one way or leaning towards the other. And with India Times, it makes more sense that India Times is actually repping like that for Iran, because they're both a part of BRICS. So I can understand more of that. But for CNN to be acting as the de facto media, state-sponsored media for Iran, I find that to be egregious. I do. So we're going to get into this geopolitical realm real quick, and we're going to get into what's actually going on. And then we can move forward from that and get into a little something that happened. We got a couple of good news here in Texas, and we got some good news over in California. We're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on, because birthright citizenship is going to be coming up. They're going to be hearing oral arguments really soon on the birthright citizenship. So we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to finish off with the Drewski skit. We got to talk about that Drewski skit. I wanted to do it last week, but god dang it, here we are today. And I'm glad I waited, because so much more came out that made this Drewski skit just even more hilarious. But before we get into it, family, let me go ahead, scroll up, and give my love to the family. A B1 salute, shalom to our good sister Andrea Jones. Thank you for being here, my sister queen. And I hope you are recuperating well. I hope all is going well with your recuperating, and I hope that everything is working out. Shout out to our good sister Aquarius Minded in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen. Thank you for being here. As well as C. Phillips Davis in the building, my sister queen. Thank you for being here as well. Our sister Priscilla Taylor is in the building. Shalom to you, my sister queen. And thank you for being here as well. Our good brother Black RU is in the building. Shalom to you, my good brother. And thank you for being here. The Ruby Runner is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. Shalom, shalom. Rael is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well, family. As well as another Rael. I'm not sure if it's the same Rael, but it's spelled the same. So shout out to you, whether it's the same or different. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Our sister Astarte Jones is in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here. Want to make sure we got our brother Rashad Wallace is in the building. Much love to you. Shalom to you, my good brother, and thank you for being here. Our sister Angelic is in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here as well. It's always my pleasure. Our sister Renaissance Woman is in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here, as well as Roberta Taylor in the building. Much love to you, my sister, and thank you for being here. Our good brother Masa Musa is in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, as well as Lillian Madison in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, as well as our sister Cultural Superpower in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well. And the B1 salute and the shalom and the shout out to everybody who isn't in the chat, but who's still here, and everybody who's going to catch this in the replay. Much love to you all. Thank you all for being here, as well as our good brother Leonard Day Yuda in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Shalom, and thank you for being here as always. Now, family, tomorrow will be the start of New Black Media Appreciation Month. I am actually going to be off tomorrow, so I will be doing a broadcast tomorrow as well, showing my appreciation to a lot of the brothers and sisters within the New Black Media. And also, I'm going to be, hopefully, I don't have this verified yet, but hopefully I'll be having a special guest tomorrow as well. If not, then that special guest will be here sometime in the week. So I just wanted to drop that tidbit. Let's get into the geopolitics, family. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All righty. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is a joint statement that was put out by the UN, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Japan, condemning the strikes that was made on the vessels going through the Strait of Hormuz, or Hormuz, however it is pronounced. A B1 salute to our good brother, Black Truth United. Got to make sure we give that B1 salute to our good brother. Shout out to him. Let's go hear the Sky News. See, I got you, my sister Aquarius. I was with you the whole time. Let's get into it.
Breaking news in the last few minutes is that a joint statement has been released by the UK.
Let me slow that down a bit.
Also by France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands and Japan. And it's about the Strait of Hormuz. They are condemning in the strongest terms recent attacks by Iran on unarmed commercial vessels in the Gulf, attacks on civilian infrastructure, including oil and gas installations, and the de facto closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iranian forces. The countries go on to say they express their deep concern about the escalating conflict. They call on Iran to cease immediately its threats, laying of mines, drone and missile attacks, and other attempts to block the strait to commercial shipping, and to comply with UN Security Council Resolution 2817. They say freedom of navigation is a fundamental principle of international law, including under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and the effect of Iran's actions will be felt by people in all parts of the world, especially the most vulnerable. They say that the interference constitutes a threat to international peace and security, and call for an immediate, comprehensive moratorium on attacks on civil infrastructure, including oil and gas installations. The countries say they're ready to contribute to appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the strait. We welcome the commitment of nations who are engaging in preparatory planning, and that they welcome the International Energy Agency's decision to authorise a coordinated release of strategic petroleum reserves, and that they'll take other steps to stabilise energy markets, including working with certain producing nations to increase output. They're also going to work to support the most affected, including through the United Nations and IFIs. And then the letter closes with maritime security and freedom of navigation benefit all countries. We call on all states to respect international law and uphold the fundamental principles of international prosperity and security. Also, in the last few minutes, we've heard via the Reuters agency, 3 Israeli generals have told them that Israel's attack on Iran's South Pars gas field was coordinated with the US, but will likely not be repeated. That is from 3 Israeli officials to Reuters. Well, let's go live to Westminster on our chief political correspondent, John Craig. So a clear message from the UK government alongside France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands and Japan to Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. How significant would you say it is, John, that this statement doesn't mention the US, doesn't mention Israel?
Well, the key paragraph in here is where it says we express our readiness to contribute to appropriate efforts to ensure safe passage through the strait. And we welcome the commitment of nations who are engaging in preparatory planning. Now, we know that despite all the criticism of the Prime Minister and the UK government and other Europeans by President Trump and members of his administration, that British military planners are talking to the Americans about how they try to ensure the safe passage of ships through the strait. The other thing that stands out about this statement straight away, this is not just the Europeans. It's UK, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands and Japan. So the coalition, if you like, is broadening to include Japan now. They're allying with the Europeans. Now, of course, Jane, it does come after some pretty ferocious criticism of the Europeans, particularly Keir Starmer in recent days, by the president, saying that the UK has been unhelpful. We recall a couple of times now the president has said that Starmer is no Churchill and that he turned down requests and so on. The Prime Minister, of course, is very determined to keep on good terms with the president, and while, of course, not getting involved in offensive action. But the key, the timing of this is significant also because it comes on a day when the oil and gas prices have surged after strikes on facilities in Iran and Qatar. the world's largest natural gas field. And of course, Donald Trump has threatened to, in his words, massively blow up Iran's major gas field if Tehran attacks Qatar again. So in other words, the conflict is escalating, and it's escalating in a way that is designed clearly to cause maximum problems for the West because of the attacks on infrastructure, and particularly oil and gas infrastructure. Now, in this statement, which no doubt follows phone calls between all the various leaders, including the Prime Minister, as you'd expect, they're expressing their deep concern about the escalating conflict, calling on Iran to cease immediately threats, laying of mines, drones, and missile attacks. Now, there isn't any mention of the United States in particular. Does say, though, that it talks about international law. Freedom of navigation is a fundamental principle of international law. It talks about the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea. This, of course, follows criticism of those who, that's in the American administration, Pete Hegseth, for example, the Defense Secretary, dismissing, mocking, if you like, those who say that international law matters. But it does condemn Iran, of course. The effect of Iran's action be felt by people in all parts of the world, especially the most vulnerable. Well, that's a reference, of course, to the price of oil and other energy sources shooting up in recent days. And the Prime Minister has talked about the vulnerable, the poorest being hardest hit by those price increases. And of course, he a couple of days ago announced help for those who rely on heating oil. And he said that was directed at the most vulnerable.
All right, family. So I wanted to play that clip because, as you can see, Iran's strategy, and this is the thing that really sets everything off for me. Iran came out and said, hey, we're not closing the Strait of Hormuz. If you are one of our allies, if you are just in the region, you were neutral, we won't be closing the strait to you. The strait is only closed to our adversaries and anybody who rocks with them. Well, then you have people going through the damn straits that had nothing to do with it, and they still bombed them. So right now, what you're seeing from Iran, they're going with the scorched earth situation. They're like, hey, if we're into it, we're taking everybody with us. This is what Iran is doing right now. And I find that to be a very problematic strategy, because at this point, you won't have to worry about America beating you because you're beating yourself. You're turning all of your Middle Eastern, quote unquote, people who would be allies or used to be allies against you. This is what's happening. And now you're seeing more and more of them being more vocal about having to join the fight, whether they want to or not. See, the smart thing for Iran to do, or what they should have done, is left all those other countries out of it, unless they were actually allowing, the U.S. to use their bases as those military strongholds. By just shooting rockets all willy-nilly to everybody in the region, what do you think you're doing with everybody in the region? What do you think they're going to do? They're leaders of their own country. You don't think they're going to protect their country? This is where I'm coming from on it. Let me give a B1 certified B1 salute to our sister Hurricane Nisi in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my sister Queen, as well as our good brother Reef and Yusuf in the building. Much love to the both of you. Shalom, and thank you both for being here. Now, like I said, because of their willingness to just bomb anybody, hell, now they have to get out there and say, hey, we'll secure it. We'll secure the Strait of Hormuz or Hormuz, whatever. We'll secure it because we need to. Let's go here.
But Trump is also facing pressure, not just within America, but outside as well. NATO allies, who previously did say that they're not going to get into a wider conflict, refused to provide any military help in the Strait of Hormuz, seemed to make a U-turn by issuing a joint statement last night, where they suggested that they will help in going ahead and securing the Strait of Hormuz. But there are terms and conditions attached. Essentially, many of these countries, Italy, Germany, UK, France, they've all said that, look, we are willing to secure the Strait of Hormuz, but the term and condition we're putting forward, the caveat we're attaching here, is that it must be when there is a truce, when there's a ceasefire that's announced.
Now, family, that makes no sense to me, because why would America need you to secure the strait after there's a ceasefire? See, you're trying to wait until the work is done and say, yeah, then you can tag us in and we'll take care of the security issue. But after that point, after the ceasefire, what need do we have of you? The ceasefire has already been done. That means the Strait of Hormuz would be open for business again. So yeah, like I said, they're being forced to say that they're going to do something, but the truth of the matter is they're looking less and less likely. Now, you know who's looking more and more likely to actually join in? The actual people around Iran. Saudi Arabia had come out and said they will defend themselves in multiple times. Hold on. Let's go here.
Dr. Sagar, Iran is intensifying attacks on oil and gas facilities across the Gulf, including attacks now in Riyadh, as we experienced last night. What should a unified Gulf strategy towards Iran look like at this point?
I think there could be a different strategy could be adopted by the different Gulf countries. One of it, of course, is participating with the U.S. Marine in securing the Strait of Hormuz, so to ensure the access of the vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. And second, and that's because there is an international law organizing such a thing, 1982 laws. The second option, of course, which was mentioned yesterday by the statement and by the Saudi, His Highness the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, when they talked about Article 51, and that really guaranteed the sovereignty of the state and its right to respond to any attack against that one. At the same time, I think we do have a massive air force capability in the Gulf region. If we just put the 5 countries, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Qatar together, they do have a massive air force capability which can collaborate with the US CENTCOM command, whereby they can be provided with satellite images, also can be provided with the necessary location. So the US can be free for the in-depth attack inside Iran, and the Gulf Air Force capability could be used on the closer shore to the water. They do have a massive capability. So far, they did not decide to use it, but I'm sure if Iran push it further, I think the statement by the Saudi Foreign Minister was clear that we have the right to use whatever means that we need to protect the country, the people, and its residents, by all means, including military. So they miscalculated. They did not understood that the Saudi and the Gulf being patient, it doesn't mean that they are ignoring or they are accepting what Iran is doing. I think they just wanted to give it a chance to the last minute, because still Iran is a neighborhood that we have to live with. And at the same time, you can see from His Highness' statement, he said, we lost the trust in Iran. That trust, which was gradually has been built with some of the Gulf countries, with Saudi Arabia. The last agreement we had was in March 2023, which was signed in China. Gradually, they thought by attacking the Gulf countries that they can push them to put a pressure on the US to stop the Iran and Israeli war. At the same time, they wanted to expand the spheres of the war and the territory by involving more countries, including Cyprus, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Jordan. These are countries who have participated yesterday also in the meeting in Riyadh. But still, I think it was important, and it was so amazing that during the meeting in Riyadh last night with all the foreign ministers, that Iran decided to attack Riyadh, and they heard it themselves, and they saw the impact. So it's not something being reported in the news. Foreign minister being in Riyadh have heard what happened. This is why they were convinced to come up with the final communique condemning Iran action against the Gulf countries.
All right, family. So y'all heard what he said there. They lost faith in Iran. All those years it took to, build that relationship with Saudi Arabia, Iran has just tossed that all up in the air. And now Iran is Saudi Arabia is pushing the GCC to go ahead and come together, bring their naval units together and go and take care of this problem. And I told people, if they continue to mess with these neighboring countries, what makes you think the neighboring countries are going to stay out of this? Saudi Arabia came out once again. Let's go here.
We didn't ask for this war. Yes, we lobbied the United States to not go and launch this war, but at the end of the day, Iran is the most destabilizing country in the region and the world.
What would it take for Saudi Arabia to get into this fight?
Yeah, there's no one clear-cut answer. If the Saudis would decide to enter with complete force with regards to this war, Iran is definitely going to be the biggest loser, because Saudi Arabia will activate its bilateral defense agreement with Pakistan, and it will rally the Arab and Muslim world. The last thing we want actually is to enter this war.
Notice what he said. If we get into this war, y'all don't want that smoke. See, you better off just going to war with America and the UK. You pull us into this war, we're going to activate our treaty that we got with Pakistan. And who is it that's trying to force a peace deal right now? Who is hosting the peace talks? Pakistan. Put a pin in that. We'll get back to it. Let's let them continue.
And we want a political solution by any way.
You mentioned a bilateral relationship with Pakistan will get triggered.
Yeah.
Pakistan is a nuclear nation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And we have this agreement right now with Pakistan. It's a mutual defense agreement. And there is, like, we can say it literally, that there is a nuclear umbrella over Saudi Arabia, a Pakistani nuclear umbrella over Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's some warning to Iran.
Absolutely. And I think the rational people within the Iran, if there aren't any rational people, they think and they know that Saudi Arabia should never.
One might say, Miss Nisi, one might say, you could say this is biblical prophecy. We'll see what happens, because there's some news. Like I said, I'll pull it up in a second.
Be in war with Iran, because it's going to be literally devastating for the Iranian region.
Something we heard, slight suggestions out of Iran, that maybe there will be conversations with Gulf states. When you hear something like that, what do you think?
Some sensible conversations is almost impossible, specifically right now, because Iran, as we know, is considered to be a headless country right now. Yes, they have the new supreme leader, Mujtaba, but nobody knows his fate. Nobody knows if he's actually really in charge or not. We consider the United States to be our main strategic ally, friend, and partner. But despite that, we have actually asked the United States to not target Iran from our territories. And we actually lobbied them for not even launching this war. And the response from the Iranian regime: firing missiles, ballistic missiles, drones. The Iranian regime knows that it's a troublemaker, and it wants to deliver and intensify the idea to the region and the world that it is a troublemaker. So we have to deal with that with some sense, with some restraint, and also with some decisiveness.
All right. So, like I said, family, they pushing buttons that they probably shouldn't have pushed, if they wanted to, not have to worry about their up, their down, their left, and their right. And America is, Donald Trump is doing some dumb shit, to be honest with you. He's moving off some dumb shit because he's negotiating. Well, we ain't got there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. A B1 salute to our good brother Jesse Paris in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my good brother. Now, the Saudis have gotten so pissed off at this situation, family. The Saudis have told basically all the Iranian ambassadors and staff and stuff like that that's in Saudi Arabia, oh yeah, they just gave them a time limit to get the hell up out of Saudi Arabia. Let's go here.
Saudi Arabia has given an Iranian military attaché and 4 other diplomats 24 hours to leave the country as Iran keeps up attacks on its Gulf neighbors. A series of drone and missile strikes have targeted Saudi Arabia. Air defenses in Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates have also carried out several interceptions. Well, let's cross now to Zain Basravi, who's live for us in Dubai. Zain, just walk us through all the latest from where you are in the UAE.
Absolutely. Looking at the incidents throughout the course of yesterday into today across the GCC, seeing it in context of this conflict in a wider sense, it really does illustrate how this conflict is different from previous conflicts in the region. The flashpoints are numerous, and they are simply getting broader. The UAE this morning, once again, saying that it was responding to missile and drone threats from Iran. Air defenses were underway, and it's been going on since yesterday evening. Shortly before midnight yesterday, the alerts started coming up on people's phones, and missile interceptions began, and it's been intermittent in the UAE throughout the course of the day. Another incident reported off the coast of Sharjah, the UK Maritime Trade Operations Agency, saying it had received a report of an explosion near a bulk carrier 28 kilometers north of Sharjah in the UAE from an unknown projectile in close proximity to the vessel. All crew was reported safe. There's been multiple incidents like this for the ships in and around the waters of the UAE, of Oman, close to the Strait of Hormuz. Multiple incidents like this. We haven't had one of these in a few days, but this incident is certainly concerning once again. Yesterday, air defenses were underway in the UAE, and there's a bit of an information lag. We're getting information from multiple sources, but the Iranians confirming, the Revolutionary Guard confirming that incidents that happened in the last 24 hours were likely targeting air bases in Al-Minhad here in the UAE and Ali Al-Salim an airbase in Kuwait, which the Iranians continue to say these sites, these U.S. bases in these regions in the GCC countries, are being used to launch attacks on Iran. But these countries have all said, since before the war started, that they would not allow their bases to be used as staging areas for any operations against Iran. But there's a massive trust gap. Neither side at this stage believes each other.
And Zain, as you mentioned, as the UAE was being targeted, you also had attacks emanating from Iran that were targeting other countries, other Gulf countries, neighboring countries. What can you tell us about some of those incidents?
That's correct. It seems that no country in the GCC is able to escape some kind of targeting for more than a day or two. Bahrain, there were explosions heard late yesterday. Kuwait's Ministry of Defense saying that over the course of the past 24 hours, they dealt with 9 long-range ballistic missiles and multiple, at least 4 different drone attacks targeting their sovereign space. Saudi Arabia saying in the last 24 hours, at least 60 drone strikes were repelled and intercepted, and as well as multiple ballistic missiles, at least 3 different incidents involving long-range ballistic missiles. The fallout of these ongoing attacks, again, happening in Saudi Arabia as well, as you said, declaring multiple members of the embassy, including the military attaché from Iran, as persona non grata, giving them 24 hours to leave. It came with a statement of condemnation. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia condemning the blatant Iranian aggression against the kingdom and the GCC states and a number of Arab and Islamic countries. In Qatar, there was a helicopter crash. The Ministry of Defense saying a search and rescue operation was underway this morning after a helicopter crashed due to what they described as a technical malfunction. The details of that are still coming in. And once again, all of these continue to happen on a daily basis. And we are seeing them ebb and flow, but each and every day it carries on. Is an escalation? Is this conflict evolving, becoming more complex and more chaotic?
And Zain, we should just clarify that the Qatari government has said that that mission that the helicopter was carrying out was a routine mission. In the meantime, that's Zain Basravi live for us in Dubai. Thanks so much for unpacking all that for us.
Now, shout out to our good brother AO in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Thank you for being here, as well as our sister Ali Alex in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here. And shout out to our good brother Snatch Adams in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, good brother. Didn't Donald Trump just tell Japan, India, and Pakistan that they'll have to figure out how to get their own oil? Got to be more careful. Whoopsie. Shout out to you, my good brother. I think that was in the context of the fact that they didn't want to help him secure the stray. Now, Japan came over here and had talks with Donald Trump in the Oval Office, and Donald Trump, that man was a goddamn, I don't even know how the hell this man is able to be looked at as somebody who can politic. You dig what I'm saying? Because when this dude be talking, this dude will say some of the most outlandish stuff, and you will look like, did that just come out of your mouth? The Japanese ambassador was over there, and she was sitting there, and she was bigging up Donald Trump and all this other stuff. Was like, hey, I know that under your leadership, Donald Trump, that things, will become better. Things will be great. Under your leadership, we will get these situations taken care of, and we are with you 100%. And then one of their reporters asked Donald Trump, why didn't you let Japan know what you were planning to do? And Trump looked this dude in the eyes, and he said, you don't want to let people know what's going to happen all the time. Why didn't y'all let us know about Pearl Harbor? Man, I was eating at the time. I dropped my burger. I was like, what the hell, Donald? What are you doing? Like, they're coming over here. They're kissing your ass. They're telling you, hey, we with you 100% full. And you just go into some all out the wall stuff, bro. Like I said, you never know what the hell you're going to get out this man. This is the one thing you can say about Donald Trump. At the bare minimum, the man is entertaining. You got to give him that much. You never know what the hell this man is going to say. You never know what he's going to do. The impulsive situation is the reason why he shouldn't be president. But at the same time, God dang it, I ain't going to lie. That was a hilarious moment for me. I was just shocked. Floored at the statement that man made. Why didn't you tell us about Pearl Harbor? Like, man. Oh, damn it. Anyhow, family, apparently, oh, Jesus. That's the one thing you cannot get around, family. Is that man? He will say some stuff that will floor you. Like, I know you can't be that damn dumb to say that. That nigga said, "Watch me hold my beer." Anyway, family, so Russia is getting called out. America is getting called out for Russia because America has basically lifted some of the sanctions on Russian oil being sold and things like that in the region. And so other groups like, well, not other groups, other countries like the UK, they've been calling out America because they've come to find out that Russia has been working with, are quietly working with Iran, sending them weapons and oil and things like that. Let's go here, family.
European leaders said Thursday that Russia is helping Iran target U.S. forces in the Middle East, and that message is being delivered directly to Washington at this week's G7 foreign ministers meeting in France. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is joining the talks as wars in Iran and Ukraine dominate the diplomatic agenda. Sources told Reuters that Russia has been supplying Iran with satellite imagery and helping upgrade Iranian drones similar to those Moscow has deployed in Ukraine. Speaking on the sidelines of the meeting, EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said Europe sees a direct link between the conflicts.
We are raising this issue that we see that Russia is helping Iran with intelligence to target Americans, to kill Americans. And Russia is also supporting Iran now with the drones so that they can attack neighboring countries and also U.S. military bases.
Kallas said the war.
Now, family, shout out to our sister Andrea Jones. Much love to you. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my good sister, as well as a shout out to our sister, the ears to hear the truth. Much love to you, my sister Queen. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold as well. Family, everything that the UK says, you got to take with a grain of salt, because right now the power dynamics is shifting around the globe, and the UK does not like it. America is moving away from the more globalistic strategy that these people have, that America has been on board with for a while. Well, Trump is taking us away from that globalistic strategy that the UK and, many of these Nabisco countries have put together. And the UK don't like that. They don't like that one bit. That's why they pulled the Lloyd's of London, pulled the goddamn insurance from the stray of Hormuz. Now, it is twofold. It is twofold, absolutely. Absolutely, they're trying to make sure that Donald Trump isn't successful in this situation. That's one. But also, yeah, you don't want to insure any type of boats that may or may not be, destroyed around those areas. But at the end of the day, for the UK, this is all about holding on to power that they really don't have the military might to hold on to. That's why they look at America as their closest ally, their number one ally, because we have the most powerful military on the globe. And as of the past 10 years or so, the UK's military has been dramatically shrinking. And that's why Donald Trump has been telling the UK, hey, y'all need to be working on building up your military and things like that. He's been telling them that for a while now. Oh, yeah. Shout out to our good brother Reef. You're absolutely correct. God dang it. The Lloyds owe us reparations too. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely. Shout out to you, my good brother. And shout out to our good brother Damon Reeves in the building. Much love to you. And thank you for being here, my good brother, as always. Now, like I said that to give you a little caveat. You got to take what the UK is saying with a grain of salt, because they have some teeth in the game. They got their own little thing, their own little background that they got going on over there, their own motives. You dig me? Let's continue.
Wars were interconnected and argued that stopping Iranian attacks requires putting pressure on Moscow. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said cooperation between Moscow and Tehran is well established.
There are reasons to believe that Russia is now supporting Iran's efforts, Iran's military efforts, which appear to be directed, in particular, at American targets.
Russia has denied sharing intelligence with Iran. Meanwhile, Rubio appeared to play down the accusations as he headed to Europe. Asked about Moscow's role, the U.S. Secretary of State said the Kremlin was focused elsewhere.
I think Russia's primarily concentrating on the war they have going on right now. Beyond that, I don't have anything to add right now.
The meeting also comes as allies look for clarity on the war with Iran and rising threats to shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. France has begun working with international partners on plans to secure the vital shipping route. The G7 brings together ministers from the world's leading democracies, including the United States, Japan, and several European nations.
All right, that's that. Family, apparently, Iran crossed the line again. And this time they crossed the red line because now the Saudis and the UAE is absolutely getting involved. Let's go here. And yeah, my good brother, I will slow it down. I try to make sure that you already know, I try to make sure that it's sped up just a little bit so I don't get hit with the little nonsense that they be hitting us with, the little god dang strikes, but I'll slow it down, my good brother. No worries. Shout out to our good brother Antithesis in the building. Much love to you, my good brother, and thank you for being here as always, my good brother. And our sister Cooking with Miss D in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, my sister Queen as well. Shalom to the both of you. Let's go over here. Like I said, they didn't cross the red line because now the Saudis and the UAE said, all right, that's it, damn it. It's time to get it in.
The war in the Middle East is now on its 25th day, and it may be about to get a lot bigger. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, two of America's closest Gulf partners, are reportedly edging towards direct involvement in the US-Israel conflict against Iran. If this is confirmed, it marks a dramatic shift in the region's balance. For weeks, Gulf states watched from the sidelines. When the US and Israel launched their joint operations called Operation Epic Fury and Operation Roaring Lion, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar were skeptical. They doubted whether airstrikes alone could neutralize Iran's nuclear ambitions or missile capabilities. Diplomacy, they believed, was the safer option. But Tehran responded to US and Israeli strikes by hitting energy infrastructure and cities across the Gulf. A high-profile drone and missile attack struck Qatar's Ras Laffan gas hub. One of the
Much love to you, Angelic. You be safe, my sister Queen. Much love.
The most critical LNG facilities in the world. Iran also moved to effectively blockade the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow choke point through which nearly 20% of the world's oil supply flows, and floated the idea of charging transit fees, as if it owned the waterway.
Did y'all catch that, family? Not only was Iran talking about shutting down the strait, but they were like, you know what? Yeah, not only are we going to shut it down, but when it is open, just to let y'all know, we might be charging everybody to go through it. Yeah, you think that set well with the UAE? You think that set well with Saudi Arabia? Or anybody else? Kuwait? You going to charge us to move in waters that doesn't belong to you? Oh, yeah. See, this is becoming a bigger situation than Iran even understand it to be. But like I said, the leadership in Iran right now is scattered. There's like 3 different factions. So you don't never know who's saying what and whether it's actually, factual or not, because you don't have any structure right now. But shoot, telling countries around you, hey, you're going to have to pay us too. Yeah, that would cause a problem. Shout out my brother Jesse. Be safe out there in that city council. You know what
20% of the world's oil supply flows, and floated the idea of charging transit fees, as if it owned the waterway. For Gulf nations, whose economies run on oil and gas exports, that was a red line. Here's what changed on the ground. In a significant reversal, Saudi Arabia has reportedly agreed to give the US military access to the King Fahd airbase. And Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is believed to be pushing Trump to continue the war on Iran. Riyadh had previously insisted its territory would not be used for strikes against Iran. The UAE, meanwhile, has shut down an Iranian-owned hospital and club, cutting off what officials describe as a support network tied to Tehran. And separately, videos appear to show missiles used in attacks on Iran being launched from Bahrain, suggesting a broader regional footprint is already quietly in place. Beyond military access, the UAE is also debating a freeze on billions of dollars in Iranian assets held within its financial system, a move that could choke off a critical economic lifeline for Tehran, which is already battling inflation and war-related pressure. Gulf states are also pressing Washington to ensure that any end to this conflict leaves Iran's military capabilities significantly degraded. One Gulf official put it bluntly: ending the war with Iran, still in possession of the tools it is currently using, would be a strategic disaster.
Shout out to our good brother Antithesis. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. As always, my good brother out here supporting. Much love to you, my good brother. And I want to touch on a comment that was just put in here. Shout out to Yaya Yisrael in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. And shout out to our good brother Black Truth United. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contributions as always, my good brother. And also, let me give a B1 salute to our sister Val Hawkins in the building. You can't go without saying what up to our sister Val. Shalom, my good sister. Thank you for being here. Now, I want to touch on something. Here we go. All right. Shout out to Lydia Madison for this. Not only has the history of America been too closely involved with Israel, Europe, and the Western Hemisphere, but the very involvement has been the driving force in bringing about major wars. And I can't even say that I disagree with you, to be honest with you. The history of America, when it comes down to being allied with these other Western groups, or excuse me, these other Western countries, it's all been about colonization and taking over resources and bomb here, bomb there. So I do agree with you 100% fold. And that's why I'm saying, like, the UK right now is really kind of losing their shit that Trump is trying to, like, remove America from this little ally partnership that they have, because without America, the UK will go down quickly. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The UK cannot defend itself whatsoever. They need America to defend it. Much love to you, my sister, and thank you for that comment. You are absolutely correct. Shout out to Nightfall in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here, family. Much love to you. Now, family, with the red line cross, you know what that means. That means situations are amplifying and amping up. So, first things first, let's get over here. Donald Trump has sent 3,500 Marines. Excuse me. Give me a second. Let me have a drink of water. I'm over here. Having all this gastro reflex and stuff. Shout out. Anyway, so Donald Trump has sent 3,500 Marines over to the Middle East, bringing the total, the troops, somewhere around 50,000 troops that's over there at this point in time. Let's get into it. Oh, yeah. Shout out to our sister Renaissance Woman. No wonder the UK YouTubers are always making videos about our military. Exactly, because our military is basically their de facto military. Without our military, their military will go down quickly. Right now, their military, they're hemorrhaging in soldiers, equipment. Like, they really do not have anything to defend themselves. That's why they depend on us. Shout out to Against the Grain TV. Yep. And don't let them James Bond movies fool you. You're damn right. They ain't got that type of technology either, damn it. We share technology with them. They don't share technology with us because we tend to have the technology before they do. That's just the facts. We share information, and the fact of the matter is we share more with them than they share with us. That's why Trump was saying, like, yeah, we really don't have a equally mutual partnership here. Really, nobody in NATO do. The only people that's really putting their fair share into NATO is America. That's the facts. Shout out to Against the Grain TV. Also, shout out to our sister Darlene Chestnut in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here. We are spending billions to the Gaza thing. They have the most of them. They have, and most of them are moving here. So why are we even helping them fight Gaza? Great question. Inquiring minds would like to go, okay. Shout out to you, darling. That's a fantastic question. Oh, yeah, you know those Tethers are pissed. They are pissed. Let's get over here, family.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. We begin tonight with the war in Iran now entering its fifth week. More than 50,000 American troops are now in the Middle East. This is 3,500 Marines and sailors have arrived in the region. President Trump is said to be considering his next options, including a ground invasion or seizing an island. Tehran launching its air defense systems amid an unrelenting assault by U.S. and Israeli strikes. And Iran is threatening retaliatory strikes on Israeli and American universities in the region. This after an Israeli airstrike hit Iran's University of Science and Technology campus. Pope Leo with harsh words about the war on his Palm Sunday, saying God, quote, does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war.
Wait a second. Hold the hell up. We're going to have to digress a little bit from this war. What did Pope Leo say?
Words about the war on this Palm Sunday, saying God, quote, does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war.
Hold the hell up. I'm scratching my head right now, family. Give me a second. I have to scratch my head.
Nigga, please.
What the hell are you talking about, Pope? God don't listen to the prayers of people who wage war? You do know the Vatican has rubber stamped what they call to be holy wars for centuries. For centuries. Christians would be fighting Muslims. Muslims would be fighting Christians. What is he talking about? And you, sir, well, not you personally, but the Vatican gave the rubber stamp. What is going on? Exactly. Thank you, Noah Randall. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, family. The Crusades. Not just that. God dang it, slavery. Slavery. You guys rubber stamp slavery. You want to tell us whose prayers God don't answer? Am I tripping, family? Am I tripping? I don't understand that. Not at all. Shout out to J.M. Von Doom in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. The Vatican, gods of war. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know what possessed him to get out there and make that statement. That was like my sister Aquarius just said, that was evil. That was an evil statement because you just basically told on yourself. You're telling me that God is nowhere near you, even though I already knew that. Golly, these people just come out saying anything nowadays. Exactly. Nice Templar. Like, it's so much stuff the Vatican got his hands in right now. The Vatican goddamn vault is full of African goddamn artwork. What is it called? And antiquities and things like that. All that's over there in the Vatican. Whatever's not in the Vatican, they got over there in the UK. Y'all stole from a whole continent just so they wouldn't know who the hell they are. And you want to talk about whose prayers God answer? I am way over the like that was way over the line. Hold up. Renaissance woman says, God dang it, the Bible they twisted. Absolutely. God dang. With this symbol we shall conquer the world. Exactly. With this symbol we shall conquer the world. Meaning the cross. Meaning the cross. Y'all picked up y'all cross and went swinging your swords on anybody who didn't take on Christianity. Hell, Constantine was a pagan all the way up until his deathbed, then got baptized into Christianity. I'm telling you, family, these people are so freaking telling. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Oh, that's a good question too, my good brother. Who is their God? Well, the Bible says they're part of the synagogue of Satan, so it's pretty clear that that must be the God in which they speak. Better yet, he said, our brother Damon Reed said their God is a donkey. Shout out to David Reeves. Exactly. The nerve. The Vatican is full of degenerates. You can't make this up. All right, I'm done digressing, family. I apologize. I just had to digress for a hot second. For the Pope to say that, like, God dang it, it was like a record just scratched right now. What? What did you say? Oh, all right, let's let him continue.
And a sobering reminder of the cost of this war. More than 3,000 people have been killed across the region, including 13 American service members. We have team coverage tonight. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang leads us off.
Good night. Now, Ayo, my brother, you drive safely. I feel you, my brother, but drive safely. I need you to make it to where you're going, my good brother. Much love to you. And shout out to Sharon Walker in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here as well. Exactly. The church got super rich during and after the Black Plague. Absolutely. Let's continue.
Growing concern the U.S. could soon put boots on the ground for military operations inside Iran. The mounting questions come as the first U.S. ground troops arrive in the Middle East. 3,500 sailors and Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, equipped with transporting strike fighter aircraft and amphibious assault capabilities. The 2nd Marine Unit is on its way and expected to arrive by May. An additional 1,500 soldiers from the Army's elite 82nd Airborne also preparing to deploy, those troops trained to parachute behind enemy lines. The U.S. now has 50,000 troops stationed in the Middle East. The Pentagon says they're giving the president, who has not ruled out using ground troops, more options. Lawmakers, including from the president's own party, urging Trump to consult Congress first.
If we're going to do a conventional ground operation with Marines and 82nd Airborne, that is a ground war that I believe Congress should have a say in. We should be briefed on.
As the war passes its 1-month mark, sources tell ABC News Secretary Rubio privately told G7 allies the war would continue for another 2 to 4 weeks. U.S. and Israeli attacks lighting up the night sky in Tehran with a missile onslaught this weekend. These videos show first responders in Iran searching through the rubble in Tehran. Several buildings nearby at a university also damaged. And now Iran is warning it will consider American universities with campuses in the region legitimate targets. This comes as the number of Americans wounded grows. Now more than 300, 13 American service members have died. At least 15 Americans were wounded on Friday in an Iranian attack on a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia, which also reportedly destroyed a critical drone surveillance and reconnaissance plane used by the Air Force, according to the Wall Street Journal.
And Lindsay, President Trump is projecting optimism about diplomacy, and tonight the mission of those troops remains unclear, though Secretary Rubio insists the U.S. can still reach its goals without boots on the ground. Lindsay, a lot of effort.
President Trump is still optimistic about diplomacy, man. I don't know. He out here asking Japan, why didn't they tell him about Pearl Harbor? I'm just saying, like, God dang it, there is a lot going on in Trump's mind. And just to be a fly on the wall in there, you would probably get crushed. There's just too much going on with this dude. Oh, man. So we just sent the soldiers over there. And I want to go here for a second, because they're talking about, this is the first time that Donald Trump was talking about negotiations. Let's go here.
Reports that negotiations are underway between the US and Iran have failed to stop attacks across the Middle East. It's been nearly 4 weeks since the US and Israel attacked Iran, launching a war with global consequences. While all sides initially said there was no room for diplomacy, President Trump now says the US has been negotiating with an unnamed Iranian leader, a claim that Iranian officials have once again denied. Well, overnight, airstrikes hit the Iranian capital of Tehran again. The Red Crescent there says a residential area was attacked. That was as Iran announced former IRGC commander Mohammad Bagher Zolgadar as its new security chief. He replaces Ali Larijani, who was killed in a US-Israeli strike.
Great point, Miss Nixie. Since when has there ever been a timeline for war? Think about it like this, too. And I have to bring this up, too, because it fits. Barack Obama did what he did in Libya over a period of 7 months. Let me say that again. Barack Obama did what he did in Libya over a period of 7 months. Nancy Pelosi was saying then he didn't need permission to strike Libya, and he don't need permission to continue his operation on Libya. Those were her exact words. And they didn't give a timeline on that. We just saw that it took 7 months. And I just find it highly, highly interesting that all of these folks are acting as if this is supposed to be over right away. Even though Donald Trump said, yeah, it's going to be over. And we know not to listen to what Donald Trump said. If he says right away, that means 5 to 6 months down the line somewhere. You got to read between the lines. But now I'm actually looking at what's happening in the region, and it might happen. You might get a ceasefire quicker than later, unless it's just time to go scorch earth. To be quite honest. But shout out to you, my sister, Miss Nisi. You are absolutely correct. Since when is there a timeline for war? They have never came out and given us timelines. We didn't get a timeline for Afghanistan. We didn't get a timeline for goddamn Pearl Harbor. We didn't get a timeline for Vietnam. We lost that war. Shoot, that Vietnam was going on for so damn long that god dang it, we just had to say, you know what? We got to cut our losses. Just cut our losses, bring the troops home. Let's continue.
Last week. And these were the skies over central Israel early on Wednesday. Missiles and interceptions have been seen across the country. Iran and ally Hezbollah have been launching daily waves of strikes there. On Tuesday, they killed at least one person and injured more than a dozen. Well, Iranian officials have responded to Trump's latest comments about negotiations with defiance. In a new statement, a spokesman for the armed forces said Iran would never compromise with the United States.
Do not call your defeat an agreement. The era of your promises is over. Today, the world has two fronts, truth and falsehood. And every freedom-seeking person will not be deceived by the waves of your media. Has the level of your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? There will be no sign of your investments in the region, nor will you see the previous prices of energy and oil until you understand this. Stability in the region is guaranteed by the powerful hand of our armed forces. Stability comes through power.
Well, Tawhid Asadi joins us live now from the Iranian capital. Tawhid, so what more response have we heard then from Iranian officials about Trump's claims of talks to end the war?
Well, actually, except for the statement that we just heard from the spokesperson for the joint military headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya, publicly speaking, we don't have any reaction to that, except, and of course, it goes without saying that we just heard from the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, as well as the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ismail Baghai, both coming out to say that right now there is no negotiation taking place with the United States, but still we know that Iran is engaged in actually a trajectory of diplomatic engagement, not with the U.S., but with the regional countries and beyond. We know that Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has had different phone conversations with his counterparts from Egypt, from Pakistan, from Oman, and from different countries, and that is indicative of the continuation of a sort of diplomatic engagement. However, even when it comes to indirect messaging between Tehran and Washington, regardless of the reports about the 15-point proposal by the United States, we don't have any official confirmation in that regard, and we don't know whether something is going on behind the closed doors or not. But still, we have to keep an eye on the context in which these reports are coming out. First, there is this complexity element, juxtaposed to the previous time when the two countries.
Okay, let me address this. My brother Leonard Deyuda, much love to you. Let the Yiddish fight their own wars. Let me be very clear on what happened here, because this is a talking point that I'm hearing a lot too, and not everybody is giving the full context of what's going on. Donald Trump was at the G7. While he was at the G7 or whatever, was it G7? It was one of those global conferences. I believe it was the G7 or G20, one of those. Anyway, Donald Trump was there. While he was there, he had people from our government negotiating with Iran. And the fact that Iran told our negotiators that, hey, whatever y'all think y'all got on us, y'all ain't got nothing. We got 11 nuclear warheads ready to go. That statement alone caused this situation. Let me tell you why. If I was president and I'm at a goddamn summit some damn where, and the person that I sent to go do some goddamn negotiating comes back and said, hey, they just basically told us that they got 11 nuclear missile heads that they can just strap on to their ballistic missile systems. They're ready to go. We really ain't got. Yeah, I'm going to take that as a straight up threat. And if you got 11 nuclear warheads at 60% enrichment, yeah, as the president, I would move too. So does it benefit the Yiddish and the Ish people? Yes, it could. It definitely does. I'm not going to lie there. But it also could be just to benefit us as well. And that's why Israel is actually trying to go full blown with the damn war. And America keeps trying to seek areas where we can get out of this situation or get a ceasefire or whatnot. So I don't think it's just that Trump is just 100% a puppet to Bibi. I'm going to be honest with you. I believe that there are certain situations that aligned at the time that it did. If that mother lover would never have said that we got 11 warheads, you hear how they talking right now. You don't think that they were talking like this in the negotiations? That's what I'm saying. Like, we gotta step away from being overly emotional about these situations and actually look at what's on the table here. Because like I said, if I was president and I don't give a damn how close I am, if I'm close with Israel or not, this wouldn't even be a situation that even pertains to Israel at that time. You didn't threaten my goddamn country by trying to tell my goddamn negotiator, feel how you want to feel. We got this popping. It's the very same way. And I'm going to play a clip in a few minutes where they say if y'all put any of your army down on the grounds, we're going to put them on fire. We're going to set them on fire. They're not talking diplomatically. They've been talking like this for a while. So yes, there is I'm not going to take away the fact that Donald Trump working with Bibi, he be doing what Bibi wanted them to do sometimes, but at the same time, Bibi is still trying to keep this going while Donald Trump is talking about hopefully getting a ceasefire. That's what he said. And Bibi saying something totally different. two things could be true at one time. I think that this would benefit Israel. Don't get me wrong. However, I think the reason why it actually got started and we got pulled into it is the way that the negotiator was talked to and the way the negotiator explained it to Trump. Did Trump call the FBAs back to the to come back to the military? You know what? That one I don't know. I have to look into that one. That's a good question. Thank you for asking that. I got to look into that one, my sister. If anything, BB could be thanking, should be thanking Trump at this point in time because this is what he wanted. I'm just, you know. Anyhow, much love, my brother. Like I said, I just know that there's a bunch of nuances and the way that these people talk as if it's just that simple and damn plain. Another thing I want everybody to remember is that the president of the United States get confidential information that does not leave his office every single day. So the way that the media make it look like, oh, we should know this, we should know that, we should know this, we should know that. They didn't do that under Obama. They didn't do that under Joe Biden. They didn't even do that under George Bush. So let me be very clear when I say this. A president has a level of information that the public will never see. That's what that is. So at some point, we have to look at the all of it, the whole of the situation, and say, yes, two things could be true at once. I don't know what the president sees when it comes to his office, and this isn't me taking up for him. I'm just stating any president, when they get their briefings, we don't get that information. Those briefings are confidential. And when Congress gets briefed, those briefings are confidential. I'm just being honest. I just see a lot of manipulation in order for people to not like Donald Trump when it's already, people just don't like him already. Just, you ain't got to lie. Put everything on the damn table and let people decide where they land. But let's get into it. Like I said, if you ain't never been president or a governor, then you won't know what information is real and what isn't. And even if you have been president or a governor, after you leave office, you won't know the confidential information. Your, what is it called? Your classification leaves you once you leave office. The new incoming person is going to be able to deal with these situations. So yeah, there's, like I said, there's a lot of secrecy when it comes down to being president and working in the government. That's what classified is. Let's continue here.
We're engaged in negotiation once back in June last year, and the second one was actually taking place when all of a sudden, just very much similar to June, the country faced a campaign of airstrikes. Now we see a more complicated situation. And of course, a second element is this cloud of mistrust that surrounds the atmosphere when it comes to Iran-US deteriorated relations. And it goes without saying also that Iran says as long as the airstrikes continue, it's not relevant to talk about any diplomatic engagement.
Yeah, meanwhile, Tahir, attacks have continued across Iran. Tell us what's been happening briefly.
Well, over the past 24 hours, I can say it's the continuation of the campaign of airstrikes that Americans and Israelis began. And here across the capital last night, we heard sounds of massive explosions. And of course, air defense activation is also reported not only in the capital, but also in other cities. But beyond the capital, we know that in different cities, such as Isfahan, we know that it has been reported that there are other after sounds of explosion being heard. And of course, added to that is Shiraz and areas in the vicinity of Karaj, located in the western parts of Tehran, as well as Qazvin. We are receiving reports about the continuation on the one hand. And of course, on the other hand, we know that Iran is talking about the continuation of its retaliatory strikes, the 80th wave of which IRGC says has been started. And that means basically, since we're dealing with this exchange of fire, we are at any point not close to de-escalation.
Tawhid Asadi in Tehran. Thank you.
All right, family. And so now, and shout out to Maneuver right in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Thank you for being here, as well as Chief Josie in the building. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Now, family, also, the Houthis have joined the conversation. Even though Trump said, oh, yeah, you know, we're going to go ahead and hold off on striking them, and we're going to do some diplomatic situations. The Houthis said, damn all that. Damn all that. So here's what's going on with the Houthis.
Tonight, the Iran-backed militant group, the Houthis, in Yemen entered the widening conflict. They launched an unsuccessful missile attack on Israel. 2,500 American Marines arrived in the region today. They're on board with the USS Tripoli, along with 2,500 sailors. CBS's Holly Williams is in Tel Aviv with more on that part of the story. Holly.
Good evening, Jerika. We have more American casualties in a war that's now a month old. 10 American service members were injured yesterday by an Iranian strike on a base in Saudi Arabia, according to U.S. officials. 2 of them very seriously.
They are negotiating. They're begging to make a deal.
President Trump repeated his claim last night that Iran's leaders are eager to negotiate an end to the war. But Iran has said it's rejected an American ceasefire plan and won't negotiate. Even as the country's pummeled by American and Israeli airstrikes, Iran's leaders are wielding an economic weapon that gives them bargaining power. With strikes and the threat of mines, Iran has effectively paralyzed traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, which normally carries around 20% of the world's oil. It's sent energy prices soaring and piled pressure on Trump to end the war. If the president can't reach a deal with Iran, he could stop the war unilaterally. But that would leave the Iranian regime with around 1,000 pounds of uranium enriched to 60% and the ability to rebuild its nuclear and missile programs.
We are not going to give it up, not going to give we don't have a flexibility.
Retired General Yaakov Amadror is Israel's.
Now, family, notice this is coming from CBS. So they're telling you that they actually did have that uranium enriched up to 60%, and up to 60%, it would take what, a couple of weeks, maybe a month to get it up to 90%. So they know that that's there. Shout out in Hampton in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here, as well as Hero for Hire. Much love to you, and thank you for being here. Free Larry Hoover. Why Trump unimpeached again? Hey, I'm with you on the free Larry Hoover all damn day. Shout out and shalom to our good brother Reparations Nation in the building as well, family. God dang. Free Larry Hoover. You do that right now. Let's say, God dang it. Anyhow, let's let him continue.
Former national security advisor.
President Trump is under a lot of pressure to end the war. If the war ends soon, will that be too soon from Israel's perspective?
If the enriched uranium will not be taken out in the agreement that will be reached between the Americans and the Iranians, the answer is yes.
Jerika, Germany's foreign minister said that he expects representatives from Iran and the US to meet for face-to-face talks in Pakistan in the very near future.
And Pakistan is where they will be hosting it. We're going to get into that. But let's get into some of the things Trump was saying. He said, they're making deals, good deals. And as our sister said, all he does is lie. And when he lies, you know that he's lying, because a lot of the times he start like going off into the village stories, right? And that's what Tariq calls them when the Teslas call up and they start talking in circles about what happened in their village. Back home in my village, that type of stuff. Trump be doing that too. But Trump does it in the way where he'll say something and then he'll like clean it with the village story. It's like, yeah, they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal, and they're going to make a deal because we're over there bombing everything. We done took out all their military and all this. Like, that's the type of stuff that Trump does. That's how Trump does it. He will say one thing and then he will tell a story about why they're going to do it because they set the shit up. Let's go here, family. Let's go here.
Go to the Trump comments on Air Force One from a few moments ago. Let's take a listen.
So we hold on. I'm gonna slow this down. Okay, we're here. We're good. All right. I'm point this out. I want you to see exactly. He says what he says. Where they want a ceasefire, and they should. And then he goes into, because we're bombing everything, and if they don't, then guess what? We're gonna keep on bombing. Like this dude, he's not talking like he wants a ceasefire. He's talking like they better take the ceasefire, because if they don't, and they're over there doing the exact same thing, damn your ceasefire. But at the same time, there's two other factions, one of which Trump might be talking to, and might not. So it's all just, it's a clusterfuck, bro. It's a clusterfuck, family. Let's go here. Let's get into it.
A few moments ago, let's take a listen.
So we've had very good negotiations today with Iran, getting a lot of the things that they should have given us a long time ago. We'll see how it works out, but they're very good, moving along very nicely. And they've destroyed a lot of additional targets today. The Navy's gone, the Air Force has gone. We know that. But we destroyed many targets today. It was a big day. And we are negotiating with them directly and indirectly.
You see, fam? He talks about the negotiations, and then he goes off into talking about how he done bombed them all day today. And then he says, but yeah, we're having good negotiations. Like, he has to remind them that, hey, this is what we're out there doing. Wouldn't you want to do the opposite if you're in negotiations? Wouldn't you want to speak about how we don't want to have to bomb anybody? We don't want to have to continue this operations. And that's why we're grateful that they came to the table and we're having good negotiations. No, he's like, yeah, they came to the table. We're having negotiations. We're bombing everything over there. We bombed 2 or 3 places, and then, it looks good, the bombing that we're doing. But yeah, they came to the table and we're having negotiations. This is how Trump speaks. That's why it sounded so off-putting when that man told the Japanese goddamn ambassador, goddamn, why did you tell me about Pearl Harbor? This is what I'm saying. Like, he don't talk like somebody who wants to goddamn have diplomacy. This man speaks like, nigga, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. This is what it is. The Cheeto Emperor is talking backwards. He's lying. You're absolutely right, bro. Family, like you gotta be able to laugh at this, because god dang it, this is just outrage. This is crazy. The Orange Avenger. The Orange Avenger. Let's continue.
We have emissaries, but we also are dealing directly. And as you know, they've agreed to send 8 boats 2 days ago, and then they added another 2, so it was 10 boats.
So this is referring to the first time that he said that he was in peace talks and they denied it. And he said that they sent him over a nice gift, but he can't tell anybody what it is, but they sent him over a nice gift. And now he's telling everybody the gift that they actually sent over to him was 8 barrels of oil, that they up to 10 barrels of oil. And then they send him another 20 barrels of oil. So let's run that back.
They've agreed to send 8 boats 2 days ago, and then they added another 2, so it was 10 boats. And now today they gave us as a tribute, I don't know, I can't define it exactly, but they gave us, I think out of a sign of respect, 20 boats of oil, big boats of oil.
My bad, I said barrels. Boats of oil.
Going through the Hormuz Strait, and that's taking place starting tomorrow morning. Over the next couple of days, a lot of boats. And I would only say that we're doing extremely well in that negotiation. But you never know with Iran, because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up, whether it's the B-2 bombers or just terminating, as an example, the...
Look at what I'm saying, bro. They just sent this man 30 boats of oil. He said, you never know what to expect from them. Sometimes you got to blow them up. Like, dude, what the hell are you in diplomacy talks or not? Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, man, let's run that back.
Whether it's the B-2 bombers or we're doing extremely well in that negotiation, But you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up, whether it's the B-2 bombers or just terminating, as an example, the Iran nuclear deal done by Barack Hussein Obama, probably the worst deal we've ever done as a country, one of the dumbest deals we've ever done. But I terminated it, unfortunately, otherwise right now they'd have a nuclear weapon. Then we did the attack with the B-2 bombers and we stopped them from having nuclear. And now we had to blow them up again. And we will probably, I think we'll make a deal with them, pretty sure.
Shout out to our brother Damon Reeves. As a former military service member, nothing funny about the troops sent into the slaughterhouse. No. I don't want to be misconstrued, my brother. No, I'm not laughing at the troops at all. I'm talking about how dumb Donald Trump is in the way that he negotiates things, or he has conversations with people that he's trying to be diplomatic with. I'm not talking about the troops or having to go over there at all. I'm talking about just who he is and how he responds to things. But shout out to you, my good brother. Yeah, there ain't nothing funny about our troops being sent over there. I'm talking about just the stupidity of Donald Trump and himself when it comes down to trying to make negotiations and deals like that. The way that he comes, he doesn't come as a negotiator. He doesn't speak like somebody who wants diplomacy. That's what I mean. But let's continue.
Whether it's possible, we won't. But we've had regime change. You look already because the one regime was decimated, destroyed. They're all dead. The next regime is mostly dead. And the third regime, we're dealing with different people than anybody's dealt with before. It's a whole different group of people. So I would consider that regime change. And frankly, they've been very reasonable. So I think we've had regime change. I mean, you can't do much better than that. The regime that was really bad, really evil was the first one. That was done. The second was appointed, and they're gone. They're all dead, other than one who may have a little life. And then they're really in the third group. And the third group of people that seem to be much more reasonable. It truly is regime change. And regime change is an imperative, but I think we have it automatically. I did something today. We just got these in from the architects. A lot of people are talking about how beautiful the ballroom is. For 150 years, they've wanted to build a ballroom at the White House.
Why the hell this man bring up this ballroom? For what purpose? We were talking about what's going on in the negotiations and you bring up this ballroom, sir. Why? What does the ballroom have to do with the negotiations taking place, Mr. Trump? Donald Orange Man, I need to know. And he had a picture at the ready. He didn't even have to look around. He just pulled up a picture, a straight up picture. What the hell does this ballroom have to do with the negotiations? Shout out to our sister Sweet Butters in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen. Thank you for being here. You can't make this up, bro. You cannot make this up. Like, God dang. Do I gotta do it. All right, I see it in the chat. I gotta do it.
Send in the clowns.
I echo this sentiment. Lord have mercy. Hey. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Leonard said because he figured out we already know that he has a data center underneath there. Yeah, as well as a bunker from what I understand. Yeah. Looks like I gotta play it again. It's in the chat.
Send in the clowns.
Let's continue, family. Jesus Christ.
And other presidents have wanted it. When we have dignitaries coming like President Xi of China or anybody else, we have very small rooms. They're not big enough to handle the kind of capacity that you need. And this is the same height as the White House. It's an incredible fitting. You see what that is, right? Nice.
Is Kenny's son still alive, sir? Is he a part of these?
We think he may be. Nobody's heard about him. I mean, he may be alive, but he's obviously very seriously in trouble. He's seriously wounded.
You had offered a 15-point plan to Iran. Did they ever come back?
Yeah, they came back on the 15-point plan. They gave us most of the points. Why wouldn't they?
You make it sound.
That's what I'm listening to how he talk. Yeah, they gave us most of the points. Why wouldn't they? Like, I feel like the way this man negotiates is antagonistic, and people who negotiate with him have to bite their grin and bear it. That's how I see it, because this is just disrespectful the way this man talks in negotiation. That's what it sounds like. Let's continue.
Like they made some concessions. Can you identify those?
Well, they're agreeing with us on the plan. I mean, we asked for 15 things, and for the most part, we're going to be asking for a couple of other things. And just to prove that they're serious, they gave us all these votes. When I talked about 4 days ago a present, I said they gave me a present, but I didn't think I was at liberty to say what it was. What it was 8 plus 2. It's 10 massive boatloads of oil. And today they gave us another present. They gave us 20 boatloads of oil. That starts being shipped tomorrow. We're having very good meetings, both directly and indirectly, and I think we're getting a lot of very important books.
All right, so Trump said that they were in the middle of negotiations, but when you go into Iran and try to speak to some people over there, apparently nobody has said that they're doing negotiations. But let's go here. According to this here, there definitely has been negotiations taking place. Let's go here.
Actually, I think what we need to look at is not who was assassinated as much as who remains alive and who in this regime was allowed to continue. One of the big names that come forefront is Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister. And I've been saying for a week now, actually, given the fact that he is favored by Arabs, he's very liked. I know this sounds very ironic. He's very liked by Arab governments in the region, including in the Gulf region. He's very liked by the Turks. He's looked at as a pragmatic person within the regimes as the Turks like to work with. And given also, if you put that next to the fact that it is Turkey, Egypt, and Pakistan who are leading these negotiations, or hopefully, I wouldn't even call it negotiations, but like opening the door for potential solution or resolution, given putting these next to each other may tell us that Abbas Araghchi is being prepared to be the next Rodriguez of Venezuela in Iran.
We've been talking about exactly that, what the day after looks like, who would be in charge. And just to be clear, in terms of the reaction right now out of Iran, the Security Committee spokesman, Ibrahim Rezai, saying Trump is lying or talking nonsense and saying only force will be understood. So what is your sense?
Actually, I'm not surprised that the remaining Iranian officials are denying any talks with the United States, either direct talks or indirect talks, because by denying this publicly, they are protecting themselves. President Trump himself refused to say the name of the person because he knows that if he mentions the name of the official he's talking with in Iran, this official will be assassinated, and the U.S. will lose an important diplomatic channel that may actually solve the problem or solve the crisis that we are all in right now. So it's very logical for me that these Iranian officials will be denying any talks, but actually I trust that what President Trump said is correct, that there are talks going on right now. Also looking at statements coming from Egypt, from Turkey, from even Qatar about shuttle diplomacy that has been happening in the past few days confirms that there is already talks going on. Although I will be very cautious, not very optimistic about these talks. We are still in the middle of the war. The war has not ended yet. And this is only a glimpse of hope that we should stick to and build on.
There's another country being mentioned in this mix, and that is Pakistan. Islamabad saying it will continue to play a constructive role in facilitating in the region. We also know the Financial Times is reporting that the army chief, Asim Munir, spoke to Donald Trump on Sunday. What do you make of the potential role out of Islamabad? We're hearing about a meeting in the coming days there.
And I would add to this also, there are reports made by Al Arabiya News just in the last few hours that Shahzad Sharif briefed Pezeshkian, the Iranian president, quote unquote. So briefed him about these negotiations and about what's going to happen. So it seems that Pakistan is playing a greater role in the Middle East, and this is not traditional, by the way. Pakistan, we know that Pakistan was initially aligned with parties that are harmful to Israel, harmful even to the Arab collective security interests. And it's a big question mark now of why Pakistan is playing such a big role in contrast to Turkey, for example, or some Arab countries like leading Arab countries like Egypt or maybe United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. So it's very interesting how Pakistan's role is expanding in this war. But maybe one reason is its proximity to the Iranian regime. They know how to speak with them. They have open channels of communications with them. And also right now, most of the Arab countries don't want to engage with Iran diplomatically, directly at least, because of the strikes that they have been receiving from them over the past weeks.
Dalia Ziada, as always, we appreciate your time and your insights. Thank you very much for being with us on this breaking news edition.
Thank you.
Be well.
All right. Well, Iran don't like the fact that Pakistan said that, God dang it, hey, you know what? I'm going to bring people to the table and we're going to, have a conversation because, God dang it, this is our region and we need to be able to have a conversation and we can be diplomatic about this. All we got to do is come together. And you know what Iran said? Iran said, Pakistan is playing both sides. Let's go here, family.
Statement that has come in from Iran. The country has slammed Pakistan over betrayal. They are saying and accusing Pakistan of playing a double game. In a statement they have mentioned that Pakistan has gone even beyond its limit. It is a clear case of betrayal. So that's a statement that is coming from Iran, slamming Pakistan for playing a double game and also over betrayal. Let me take you through the statement as far as Iran is concerned. They've said that Pakistan has gone even beyond the limit. This is a clear betrayal of by Pakistan. It transports oil through Strait of Hormuz under Pakistan's name and then sells it to our enemy. So that's what Iran is alluding to, the double game that Pakistan is playing, that it transports the oil through Strait of Hormuz under its name, but it sells it to the enemy countries. Remember, in the last few days, only vessels from the friendly countries, that includes India, China, Iraq, Pakistan, they have been allowed to pass through. But as far as Iran is concerned, they said we trusted Pakistan because it is a Muslim country, but they betrayed us. And that's a very strong statement that is coming from Iran on Pakistan. On that, we once again bring in my colleague Srinjoy. Srinjoy, a very detailed statement that is coming from Iran as far as betrayal by Pakistan is concerned, saying that they take their oil through the Strait of Hormuz, but then they sell it to the enemies, calling out the double game that Pakistan is playing. Take us through more details.
The next question is, what will the Iranians do? Will they stop Pakistan from taking out oil through the Strait of Hormuz? That's the next question. And if they do, it's...
Put a pin in that, my sister. We gonna get to Putin. Technically, we're gonna get to what's going on in the situation that do pertain to Putin. So hold on to that thought for a second, because I have some questions about that too, especially about what I'm going to show y'all in a hot second.
Going to hurt Pakistan very badly, which is already very economically challenged. Now, there are 5 countries that are allowed to take oil out through the Straits of Hormuz: China, Russia, India, Iraq, and Pakistan. So is this 5 going to be 4? If 5 becomes 4, and the 5th country is also involved in back channel talks, then what happens to the talks? Will
put a pin in this too. We're going to talk about BRICS. That situation is coming back around, and that's also what I wanted to talk about with the Putin situation. So hold on, family. Y'all ahead of me. That's what I'm saying. Y'all just so intelligent. Like y'all just know stuff. You know what I mean? We gonna get there, family. Give me a hot second. Put a pin in that.
the talks flourish if the 5th country, Pakistan, is being accused of playing a double game? These are things that have to be kept in mind, because Pakistan is being accused of betrayal. When one country accuses another country of betraying, then it's a serious matter. So where this is going to go, we don't know. But this can have very serious repercussions, not just vis-a-vis oil, vis-a-vis the future of the talks. Because if Pakistan is playing a back channel role and Pakistan is being accused of betrayal, then what kind of back channel role are they playing?
Absolutely. In fact, on one hand, Pakistan is claiming that they are playing the role of a mediator. On the other, Iran is blaming them for betrayal, saying that they're playing a double game. They are, in fact, transporting oil through the Strait of Hormuz that has been blocked by Iran under Pakistan's name, and then it is selling it to the enemy countries, including US and Israel. That's a big claim that is coming from Iran. We'll continue to...
All right, family. So, with that being said, Pakistan is still hosting the damn the peace talk. Let's go here.
Former Pentagon official Brent Sadler joined us now. Hey, Brent, first off,
What do you think happens with those talks? We're not going to talk directly. There's going to be intermediary. Turkey and Pakistan and Egypt are going to be there represented.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. I don't have high confidence that we're going to get anything meaningful, certainly out of the first round or several rounds of these Pakistan-sponsored or hosted peace negotiations. But it does provide some insight as to what the Iranians are willing to give and what the Iranians, I guess, sentiments are. Maybe some insight also on how their government's fracturing. But there's quite frankly, the United States is in a very strong position. There's nothing that should be given in order to get them to agree to end the hostilities.
Shout out, Miss D. Is BB alive or dead? He's alive. He's alive. I've seen all those folks out there putting the conspiracy theories out, talking about he ain't alive. They've been doing AI videos and all this other stuff. No, he's alive. He's alive. He came out and did he went to a coffee shop in order to show that, hey, I'm all right. He showed both of his hands to make sure everybody knows there were five fingers on his hands and stuff like that. So he's alive. But we got some things to talk about with BB too. Trust me. That's a lot of deep fakes. Yeah, they made some deep fakes in order to push it out there in order to make people think that he was not alive. Oh yeah, let's go.
Evidently, their president, Presidian, is fighting with the head of the IRGC on next steps. It looks like the ones that are left don't agree on how to go forward. We know there's a huge disconnect between what they're saying about the Gulf states and what they're doing to the Gulf states, and that's hitting them pretty consistently.
So, as he just said, the people who are left over there in the regime cannot agree on how to move forward, but it came out yesterday that, let me go here, Iran has agreed to conditional mediation. Let's go here.
And we're just getting breaking news. This is CNN News 18's mega exclusive. Iran agrees for the mediation with the United States. Conditionally, Iran gives its consent for the mediation process in Pakistan, claims a top diplomatic source. The proposed US-Iran mediation in Islamabad is a major breakthrough likely to happen soon, according to a source. Iran sets conditions, and we're just getting breaking news. This is CNN News 18's mega exclusive. Iran agrees for the mediation with the United States. Conditionally, Iran gives its consent for the mediation process in Pakistan, claims a top diplomatic source. The proposed US-Iran mediation in Islamabad is a major breakthrough likely to happen soon, according to a source. Iran sets conditions for negotiations with the United States. Now, Tehran demands immediately to stop all attacks on Iran, besides 5 conditions. Iran demands concrete guarantees from Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey that the United States and Israel stop attacks on Iran immediately and won't attack Iran in the future. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey to discuss Iran's conditions and the roadmap for the mediation in Islamabad today and tomorrow. Now, if this quadrilateral group convinces the United States and succeeds in obtaining these guarantees from the US, a temporary ceasefire or pause in attacks may be announced, likely, and then Iran will join the mediation process.
And joining us live is Anand Narsimhan on this broadcast. A very good morning to you, Anand. Anand, if you could tell our viewers why Islamabad has been chosen for the peace talks.
Well, it's a morning, Harsh and Shreya. Morning to our viewers. Most importantly, that there is a conditional agreement for ceasefire.
Now I'm gonna stop there because it's hard to hear the guy on the phone. Plus, the accent is very thick. But in a nutshell, they have agreed to go and have these talks. Now, let's be very strategic here. I don't think any of the top officials are going to go to this meeting. They're going to send other people because nobody trusts the other side, nor should they. You know, however, we'll see what comes out of it if that is the case. They say that it's very hopeful. They didn't already send over 30 boats of oil, apparently. But let's get over here, family. Let's talk about Ukraine. Because the Ukraine just inked a defense deal with the UAE and Qatar. Oh, yeah. Let's go here.
Our priority is the military. We have a clear understanding of the volume of our usage. The use of all the diesel and gasoline for the entire country, including the military, that amounts to 700,000 tons per month. We are talking about a 10-year cooperation. We have already signed a corresponding agreement with Saudi Arabia. We have just signed a corresponding agreement with Qatar, also for 10 years. We will sign with the Emirates also for 10 years. It will be within a few days.
Now, family, understand what's going on here in case you haven't understood yet. Let me clear it up a little bit for you. Ukraine has inked a defense deal with the UAE and Qatar. They already inked a defense deal with the Saudis. Now, you got to ask yourself this. This man is at war with Russia. Russia's at war with this man. Where is Putin to speak out on this? That is the question that I have. Where is Putin to speak out on this? Because, you know, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they're both a part of BRICS. Yeah, they're both a part of BRICS. And one would think that another country that's a part of BRICS, Russia, wouldn't want his business partners within BRICS doing defense deals with this open enemy. So that means that if Russia decides to really amp it up, Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the UAE must now be pulled into it. And if Saudi Arabia is pulled into it, who else is pulled into it? Pakistan is pulled into it. Oh, family, when I say it's a clusterfuck going on, it is a clear-cut clusterfuck. Oh, man, I'm going to let this finish playing out, and we're going to go over some of the immediate geopolitical ramifications.
The first team arrived into the country on March 13th. The group consists of experts and the specialists of the air defense in various directions. The second is a practical group of the security service of Ukraine. Theoretical group, as we call them, is an expert group, the main task of which was to work with the local side to identify the problems that are here and develop a certain roadmap in order to enable them to strengthen their air defense.
The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables.
All right, family. So what is happening here? What are they doing? Well, with the West not really supporting Ukraine like it was when Biden was in office, Ukraine and Zelensky, they're trying to build up parallel security partnerships outside of NATO. Outside of NATO. They're embedding themselves inside of the Gulf security agriculture, basically, is what's happening. And what it does, it kind of reduces the strategic vulnerability, to say the least, especially on U.S. Domestic politics and EU fatigue over the war. It also involves, actively involves the Gulf Coast in the defense of their country. I don't see how Putin wouldn't be pissed off by it, to be honest with you. I just don't see it. Especially, and really, all this is really showing is how basically fragmented BRICS has become. It is a situation where basically Ukraine is securing fuel supplies and weapons and things like that from the same partners in which y'all supposed to be taking over the West, or taking over the dollar, you know, creating your funds in order to take out ours and all this other stuff. It just it just shows itself to kind of be just, yeah, weak from the inside. Right now, Ukraine is fighting Russia. So I know for a fact Russia don't like this. I know for a fact. And it complicates and further weakens BRICS' dynamics. Everybody who's asking about Putin due to this AI thing, I'm not concerned about that AI thing at all. I want to know where Putin that is on this. See, this is how you know, this is how you will find out if Putin is alive or not. Because god dang it, this situation right here should be getting the ears of Putin. He should be coming out, making statements or whatever the situation may have you. I'm just saying, it's very, very interesting that they just went and inked these deals. However, family, that is our geopolitical update for today. Now let's get into our domestic news, shall we, family? And it is going to be a good one. If you do not have your popcorn, family, get your popcorn ready. If you need you to go get you something to drink, some ice water, go ahead, get you some ice water. We're going to take a real short, non-commercial, commercial break. And then when we get back, we're going to get into the domestic side of the news. Much love to each and every one of you. And shout out to our good brother, Black Truth United, for everything our good brother does behind and in front of the scenes. Shout out to our good sister Brooke for everything that she does behind and in front of the scenes. Shout out to our good brother Marcel Dixon for everything that he does behind and in front of the scenes. We'll be right back.
Introducing the B1 Rolodex, the easiest way to search for and support FBA and B1 businesses. Hundreds of entries from the Black grassroots for the Black grassroots. Free to use, free to download, constantly updated. Trouble navigating the document? Try using the map version. Notice a business missing? Use this simple Google form to submit an FBA or B1 business. Also submit anti-Black businesses, which are now being collected in that last tab. Find resources, contact numbers, and much more using the second tab. All the info you need to start practicing group economics today. Go to blacktruthunited.com. That's blacktruthunited.com.
Evenmelanin.com. New healthier glass bottles. No microplastic, can't be wrong. Smooth and even, let the glow begin. Melanin. Age with grace at Even Melanin. Melanin. Radiant skin where beauty's from within. Melanin. Feel the love with Even Melanin. Evenmelanin.com.
They say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. I say it's stupidity. We as Black Americans have been voting for the Democrats with over 90% of our votes going to them for the past 60 years. And what do we have to show for it? I'll tell you, we are 15 to 20% of the population, but nearly 60% of the homeless. We have aborted over 20 million of our Black babies. Our wealth is heading backwards, and we own less homes now than we did during Jim Crow. I'm not saying vote for the Republicans. I'm saying don't vote for any party. Vote for good policies. If anyone comes to us and they ask for or demand the Black vote, you tell them to show me your Black policies.
I am Greg Marcel Dixon, and I approve this message.
All right, family. So first and foremost, I want to, and I got to do this because I am very tough. Let me pull this down for a second. I am very tough on Tyler Perry because of the imagery that he chooses and selects to put out. But I'm also very fair about it. I do give credit where credit's due. He does employ many foundational Black Americans. And he does do things that can be saluted. So I'm going to salute him here today for the first time in a while. Because he tried to do something that was highly, highly admirable. TSA workers ordered to return celebrity handout. Let's get into it, family. TSA workers given $1,000 gift cards by celebrity billionaire Tyler Perry has been ordered to return them. Perry was stopped from handing out cash to the workers, who has been working without pay since February 14th at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson's airport on Thursday, as federal regulations prohibit the agency from accepting gifts while on duty, according to Georgia outlet 11 Alive. According to 11 Alive, after using the airport visit to chat with the workers and boost morale in lieu of handing out cash, Perry's team worked with airport officials on donations alternatives and returned to hand out gift cards instead. Other airports like Denver International have accepted gift card donations to support TSA workers during the shutdown. But over the weekend, Atlanta's TSA workers who received the gift cards from Perry, each worth $1,000, according to the outlet, were asked to return them. Sources told the outlet Perry not only cleared the gifts with airport officials, but also with human resources and legal channels. But Hartsfield-Jackson's federal security director still had concerns, prompting officials to request that the gift cards be returned. That could pose a problem, as some of the funds have already been used, according to the site's reporting. The owner of Tyler Perry Studios and Atlanta's resident has become known for his good deeds throughout the city and his hometown of New Orleans, making the news for buying groceries for thousands of seniors and assisting families struggling with loss of SNAP benefits. His latest efforts came after the partial government shutdown, which left the Coast Guard, CBP, and the TSA unfunded for over 40 days. TSA called out due to missing paychecks and TSA's calls out due to missing paychecks have caused airports across the country to face severe logistical challenges. As of Monday, some TSA workers have begun receiving paychecks and recouping back pay. don't know why the hell I'm sitting here tripping like this. After Trump signed the executive order to pay the workers and bypass the shutdown. And family, I gotta say, I gotta give a shout out to Tyler Perry for that. I am. You know, I might not like the type of content that he puts online or in TV or in the movies. I might not like that. However, you got to give credit where credit is due. He saw a need. He tried to fill that need. He tried to make sure that people wouldn't have to go without. And the very same company that he worked with, because he worked with the HR department, he worked with the officials there. He did what they said he could do. And then all of a sudden, here comes, you know, top people over them now saying, nah, y'all got to get that back. So I got to give him a shout out. At least he tried to do something that a lot of these politicians wasn't willing to go and do. Let's go here, because these folks are so mad that Trump signed that executive order reallocating funds over to the TSA agents. You got the Democrats out here saying that that was an illegal move. Oh, no, I'm with you, Miss Nisi. That's the first thing that popped in my mind. That is the first thing that popped into my mind. Shout out to our sister Aquarius. She said, I would have said Medea gave it to me, not Tyler. Thanks, Medea. Shout out to you, sister. Oh, let's go here, family.
Practically speaking, ICE is already funded. In fact, it's one of the few DHS entities where people are getting paid because they had so much funding from the president's last bill. And now their portfolio is expanding because they're in American airports across the country. So what did Democrats get out of this standoff?
Yeah, well, Margaret, the standoff is not done yet, right? The president is illegally paying, apparently, TSA agents. You had the Senate, as you pointed out with Mr. Homan, pass a bipartisan bill unanimously in the United States Senate to say, look, let's fund everybody else and let's deal with this thorny issue about ICE. And then you have...
Notice how he said the president is illegally paying the agents. Did they say Obama was illegally paying the Jewish community when he gave them $3 million or what was it? No, excuse me. It was $10 million when he reallocated funds to go to them, bypassing Congress. That wasn't illegal though, right? Okay, continue. Shout out to our good brother Breeze Omega in the building, my good brother, Much love to you. I'm gonna be DMing you on TikTok to have a conversation with you about, you know, setting something up with you. So be looking out for that DM, my good brother. Let's let him continue.
Yeah, well, Margaret, the standoff is not done yet, right? The president is illegally paying, apparently, TSA agents. You had the Senate, as you pointed out with Mr. Homan, pass a bipartisan bill unanimously in the United States Senate to say, look, let's fund everybody else and let's deal with this thorny issue about ICE. And then you had the Republican House say, hell no, we're not doing that. And by the way, mock their own Republican leaders in the Senate. So look, this thing is still very much live for one very simple reason. We can talk about House, Senate, changing law for one very simple reason, which is that the vast majority of Americans look at the way ICE behaved with the murder of 2 American citizens, with the constant knocking down of doors of American citizens without warrants, people dressed like they're, airlifting into Fallujah to do the legitimate work of going after illegal aliens in this country. And they say that is not okay. And that's our position. Our position is very simply, we want ICE to act like the police force that they are. And that fight is not won yet. And look, I'm sorry it got tied.
You want ICE to act like the police force that they are? Act like the police force that they are. With the unaliving of the 2 Nabiscos, one would say that they are acting like the police enforcement that they are. You know, police is always unaliving us, unaliving foundational Black Americans. I mean, I want to know what's so different about this situation now. Oh, they had the complexion for the protection. They're white, one might say. They are Nabiscos unsalted. That's the only difference. So if you want them to act like law enforcement acts, like all law enforcement acts, I mean, then I guess you already got your wish. But continue.
I'm sorry that the Republicans on one side of the Capitol said this was a good idea, and on the other side of the Capitol, they called it a joke.
Yeah.
But we're ready to negotiate around something that is not a radical demand. We just want ICE to act like proper police officers.
So in the meantime, the president's redirecting existing funding to pay TSA agents. You said he was illegally paying them. You believe that he is violating the law in this interpretation that the White House says they have?
Well, it's not that I believe it, it's that I know it, right? I mean, if there's one power that Congress has, it is the power of the purse. Now, this president has, of course, consistently and universally said that he, in fact, has that power, that any American that went through fourth grade civics, no, they should be paid. They should have never been held hostage. And we had a deal come out unanimously from the Senate that if it had passed, right now they would be getting paid, and we wouldn't be talking about the constitutional power of the purse. But Mike Johnson, leader of the House of Representatives, said hell no to what his Republicans in the Senate said yes to.
I got phlegm in my throat. I'm over here, Miss Niecy. I got my cup of hot tea right here. It's nice little chamomile. You know what I mean? Got a little ginseng in it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I sound like I got some phlegm. Hold on. All right. Hopefully that took care of the problem. But I've been hearing it too, Miss Niecy. That's why I had to go and get my tea real quick, because god dang it, Texas has been crazy with this weather. It has been crazy with this weather. Much love to my sister, Miss Niecy, calling me out on the phlegm. Yeah, family. So with that, you have, your both sides going at each other because they feel like they should have passed that bill. And now you got these folks coming out saying that Trump bypassing Congress in order to make sure that the TSA agents were able to get their paychecks. Oh, that's illegal. He bypassed Congress, when presidents always bypass Congress when they're reallocating funds that they want to go to somewhere. This isn't the first time a president has bypassed Congress' power of the purse. It isn't. Many of the times, like Obama, when he was talking about putting all these programs together for LGBTQs and all that other stuff, he would say he would take reallocated funds and private funds, private corporate funds, and merge them together in order to support or fund whatever programs he was putting together. Isn't that bypassing Congress? Family, y'all let me know in the chat. Did Obama bypass Congress when he reallocated funds from one location and then brought in private funds and then used those funds in order to fund all of those LGBTQ programs? Was that not going over the power of the purse? Was that not bypassing Congress? Like I said, these people expect for us not to have any type of intelligence on the situation. They expect us to be the people that really didn't understand politics. And now they're dealing with a group of people that not only understand politics, but you ain't going to be able to politic with them, lying to them. We're going to break apart everything you're saying to see how logical that is. And if it ain't logical, we're going to tell you it ain't logical. Why didn't you say that about Obama? Why didn't you say that about Joe Biden, who just left the office, who was reallocating funds all over the place for illegals? Don't worry, I'll wait. This is what we're dealing with, family. But shout out once again, like I said, to Tyler Perry. I don't get to give him flowers much. I don't. But shout out to all that he was trying to do for those people who didn't get their paychecks in all of that damn time. And shout out for all the things that he do for the people of Atlanta, apparently, and New Orleans. Apparently, he's been very altruistic, and I can say I'm happy to say at least that about him. I don't like to not like a person just because I don't like their style of, art. But when that is the visual that you're putting out about us, yeah, it tends to make me not like you. At least this one thing made me say, okay, Tyler, I'll give you praise on that one. Not even praise, but a shout out. There you go. Shout out to you. Now, let's move forward. Let's get into some of the good news, shall we? Well, it's good news in certain places. Here in Texas, I must say, I am happy to hear about this, and I hope it goes through. Governor Hot Wheels, shout out to our sister Shalonda in the building. Much love to you, my sister queen, and thank you for being here as always. Shalom. Excuse me. Yeah, those allergies. Yeah, my sister Aquarius, those allergies. Now, Hot Wheels is trying to actually do something good in Texas for once. And he has proposed to eliminate Texas state property taxes. And for anybody who lives in Texas, you know how big of a deal getting rid of property taxes is. Let's go here, family. Yes, my sister Abbott, Greg, the wheelchair man. Let's go here.
This morning, we are reviewing a new property tax relief plan or proposal that Governor Abbott unveiled on Tuesday.
Yeah, this is getting a lot of attention. The governor says his plan could help keep home prices affordable for Texas families, including so many here in the Houston area. Our Ugochi Aloka joins us live this morning with more details. Ugochi, where would the money for this plan actually come from?
Well, Alona and Jacob, right now, Governor Greg Abbott says the money for this property tax package that he proposed would build off of the $51 billion tax relief plan that lawmakers passed in last year's legislative session. Now, keep in mind, if you own a house like this one, we're here live in the Tanglewood neighborhood, this means that Governor Greg Abbott's plan would eliminate school property taxes for homeowners. Once you take a look at your screen, here's a breakdown of Governor Abbott's 5-point property tax relief plan. Under this proposal, local government spending growth would be limited to population growth plus inflation, or 3.5%, whichever is lower. Also, the governor wants to require property tax increases to get 2/3 voter approval. Abbott would then allow voters to petition to put property tax rollbacks on the ballot. Now, the governor says property should be appraised once every 5 years, and he wants to lower the cap on homestead appraisal growth from 10% to 3% for all properties.
I defy any Democrat or any Republican to come out against my law that will slash property taxes.
Yeah, you can hear it there, and the governor's voice, very passionate about this plan. Lona and Jacob, coming up in the next hour, when folks switch over to KH11 Plus at 7:30 a.m., we'll actually break down how Governor Abbott's property tax package compares to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's own property tax plan that he also shared last year. Reporting live this morning, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
Oh. Family? Sister Aquarius said, hell, I need to move to Texas. I'm going to be honest with you, family. If you would have asked me yesterday, before I came across this, whether or not it would be good to move to Texas, I would tell you it depends on where you're moving. And it also depends on what kind of house you're going to be purchasing. And the house that you purchase, the amount that you're going to be purchasing it for. Because the property taxes out here is ridiculous. The house right now that I'm in, we spend $4,500 a year on property taxes. So you can understand why I say, hey, I hope this goes through. Now, I do understand there are some things I have to actually read into the bill. Like I said, I just got the information here last night, it was sent to me. So I'm still going to look into the bill and I'm going to read the bill and see whether or not it's going to actually have any downfalls of it. But for the most part, shoot. Yeah. To see Texas, you can buy a house cheap, but every year they reevaluate your house. So every year, if they say, hey, your let's say the estimate of your house amount, your house worth went up, they're going to charge you more per year on the taxes. Every year your property goes up or becomes worth more money, they add more to your property tax. And that's why I'm like, God dang it. That ain't something that I want it to go down. Please let that be something good with no strings attached. Let's do it, please. Shout out to our sister Rosemary in the building, as well as our sister Mia Cam in the building. Much love and shalom to the both of you. Thank you both for being here. God dang it. All right. And then now we got to go over to California. Why? Oh, family, you're going to love this. New rules are going to be removing illegals' ability to receive SNAP benefits and other social programs within that same framework tomorrow. Yes, family. Let's go here. Oh, Mia. I feel for you, my sister. I get you. I feel you. I know. I hear about all that stuff that's going on up there in New York with that Madani creep. And not just in that area, but yeah, them trying to raise y'all taxes all throughout god dang New York. That is wildin'. That is wildin'. Shout out to you, my sister. She said, enough said. You ain't lying there, god dang it. But let's get into it, family. Let's get over here.
Changes to who's eligible for CalFresh food assistance.
Hold on. I'm going to run that back and turn that down. And shout out to our good brother, Damon Reeves, once again. What I'm going to end up doing is when I set these up, instead of putting 1.5, I know that the happy medium is 1.25. So that's where I'll be putting it for the most part for now on, family. So shout out to our good brother, because every time he hears it, he'd be like, man, can you slow it down for me, please? I feel it, family. I don't want anything to miss anybody. So let's get into it.
Changes to who's eligible for CalFresh food assistance are coming because of new federal and state policies. And BC7's political reporter Joey Sapchik takes a look at who this will impact and where else they might be able to get some help putting food on the table.
The first of a series of changes impacting people who receive CalFresh or Medi-Cal benefits goes into effect in just a few weeks on April 1st. It impacts thousands of San Diegans, namely people who are here under refugee or asylum-seeking status. Following federal and state policy changes, some 13,000 San Diegans will no longer be eligible for CalFresh benefits in just 2 weeks, according to the San Diego Food Bank. It's refugees and asylum seekers who are here lawfully but are not citizens losing their food assistance.
That's why that's not political for us. This is a basic need. This is food. I think everybody agrees.
This isn't political for you? It's about basic needs? I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because there are people on Skid Row right there in Los Angeles that needs the basic necessities. So why don't you go ahead and take those basic need necessities to the people down there that have that basic need who are citizens? Otherwise, it is political. Continue.
People in trouble, people needing food, deserve to have access to that food.
The April 1st changes only impact a fraction of the 400,000 San Diegans who rely on CalFresh assistance. But a few months later, on June 1st, another approximately 100,000 will see their work requirements change in order to stay eligible. Some adults will have to work or volunteer 80 hours a month to keep their benefits, with exemptions like for caregivers of kids under 14. This isn't a surprise. County Board Chair Tara Lawson-Remer says the county has been preparing for these changes, including freeing up dollars from the Rainy Day Fund and a partnership with the San Diego Foundation.
That partnership is going to put together about $30 million over the next couple of years to invest in some of these critical services that are being cut by the Trump administration.
Why didn't y'all get with those partnerships in order to put something together for the citizens who are sleeping on the streets? Oh, when it's illegals and when it's asylum seekers, when it's really not asylum seekers, they're just illegals claiming to have a case for asylum, and they really do not, because many of them, as soon as they go to the court with their case, get tossed out, and they say, yeah, poverty is not a manner in which you can seek asylum here in America. If it was legal residents, then legal residents is different from people who's trying to seek asylum. That means they're just illegals. But y'all not putting together any programs for your citizens in the area. And this is San Diego. I know. See, Los Angeles have Skid Row. But when you go to San Diego, they have a little city over there called Pacific Beach. And right on the outskirts of Pacific Beach, since it's a college town, it's all beautiful. Right near the beach. You got no parking anywhere over there. And they don't allow no homeless over there. But right outside PB, right outside Pacific Beach, you got the same type of Skid Row situation going on. Where are my San Diegoans at? Let the people know what's going on over there. You don't do this for the people who are citizens in your own goddamn district. Why are you putting together money for a bunch of people who aren't even citizens here? It makes absolutely no sense. Hey, that's a good point. They can go to Poland real quick. Go ahead. Now, if that was the assistance you was giving them, you was helping assist them to get to Poland or somewhere else, then yeah, I would be all for it. Exactly. She said tether assistance. Exactly. Exactly. And Newsom made laws against homeless. Yeah, he took away the funding from all of those city mayors who wasn't using the funding in the way that they were supposed to be used, even though I'm pretty sure he wasn't using the funding in the way it was supposed to be used either. And I agree with you here too. There should be class action lawsuits going on all throughout California when it comes down to this. When it comes down to the homeless situation and the funding that they've been receiving, and not just that, but the funding that they've been putting into other people that don't even belong in the country. Yeah, there should absolutely be a class action lawsuit. They fighting the inevitable. You're absolutely right. Go home. It's our time to come up on our ancestor sacrifices left for us. You are absolutely I'm with you, my queen sister. Look at you. You got me over here smiling right now. Shout out to you for that. You are absolutely correct. It is our turn to actually benefit off of the sacrifices made by our people. Much love to you, my sister queen. Thank you for being here. That was a fantastic addition. Let's let her continue.
Beginning first and foremost with food.
The food bank is prepared to do the heavy lifting of feeding people in need and says they don't ask for citizenship status.
Well, why the hell not? Why the hell not? You're saying that you just want to help people in need. But yet, if that's the case, go do humanitarian work. You can go do missionary work and all that other stuff. But if you want to help people in need, you need to start at home. You need to start at home. So yeah, I'm happy that this is happening. Continue.
If you're hungry, regardless of where you're from and what language you speak, we can serve you.
And then at the start of next year, there's a change in the work requirements for people enrolled in Medi-Cal. Joey Safchik, NBC7.
Parolees and Afghans and Iraqis with special immigrant visas also no longer qualify for CalFresh under these updated rules.
Now, let me say this, because you heard what this woman just tried to do. She just tried to do some real janky stuff right now. Hold on.
Joey Safchik, NBC7.
Parolees and Afghans and Iraqis with special immigrant visas also no longer qualify for CalFresh under these updated rules.
Now, family, you heard her say parolees no longer qualified as well. She said parolees no longer qualify as well. She said that parolees no longer qualify for SNAP benefits or any of those programs as well. She's a stone cold damn lie. She's a stone cold lie. Parolees who are illegal do not qualify. If you're a citizen and you've been paroled, you still qualify. I looked into it myself. I quite literally looked into the bill myself. If you are an American citizen that has been paroled, you still qualify. Anybody else, people who are non-citizens, people who are asylum seekers, people who are not American citizens, if you go to jail in California and get paroled because they don't work with ICE so you won't get deported, you're a parolee. And then you don't qualify. Like I said, they play this game exactly, my sister. See, look, on point with it. See the weaponized language again. Exactly. They weaponize the words and how they say it, hoping that they're going to scare us into running to the polls for them. Well, parolees, that's not fair that parolees don't get those benefits. Let's run to the polls to make sure parolees don't have to worry about that. Whether you run to the polls or not, it's being implemented tomorrow. So it'll behoove you to understand exactly what they're trying to use you for. Now, shout out to Cooking with Miss D. We need to start using these people because these shits, this shit is getting out of hand. I feel you, my sister. FBAs need the most assistance. No lie told there, my sister. Shout out to our good brother, Black RU, excuse me. Shout out to our good brother, Black RU. I have a very comfortable sofa. Hey, shout out to Darlene. Hey, I hope that sofa has some comfortable pillows as well, because, you know, I got a sofa that got pillows and the pillows match the sofa and the sofa match the pillows, which means they're both fluffy. You dig what I'm saying? And they both look like each other. You know what I mean? So when I sit down and I lean back and I kick my feet up, oh yeah, not only is my couch and my pillows coordinating, they just as soft as I want them to be. So shout out to you, family. I understand you. I got an ottoman to kick my feet up on. I meant suing. Yeah, we should definitely start suing. We should start suing for everything that shows discrimination against us. Whether we win or not, we see something, we sue about it. That's what needs to happen. And that's why we need to get all of our like-minded legal minds together so that we can make those things happen. And in case anybody was wondering, after I ended the program on Sunday, when I was saying I was going to get in contact with Dennis Sperling, I did get in contact with his legal firm yesterday. So I'm waiting on his call back, and we will be having a conversation. So shout out to the family who suggested I get in contact with him. We'll see what we can do. Now that we got those two things out of the way, let's get to the next part. I said birthright citizenship is coming up. Let's go here.
The Supreme Court on Wednesday is set to hear arguments over U.S. President Donald Trump's executive.
Hold up. There we go.
The Supreme Court on Wednesday is set to hear arguments over U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order denying automatic citizenship to U.S.-born babies if neither parent is a citizen or legal permanent resident. For Norman Wong, this legal battle echoes a constitutional dispute that was settled more than a century ago. Amid a wave of anti-Chinese sentiment in the late 1800s, the U.S. government tried to prevent Wong's Chinese-American great-grandfather, Wong Kim Ark, from re-entering the country after visiting his parents in China. They argue that despite him being born in the U.S., he was not a citizen.
He came back in 1895.
Now, family, this is the Wong Kim Ark case that I've discussed several times over. However, I want you to see what the dishonest as lamestream media just did. Now, the Wong Kim Ark case that they're speaking of, never, not ever. Shout out to Shorty McGriff in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. This case never gave citizenship to anybody who just dropped off a damn baby. It never gave citizenship to anybody who dropped off a damn baby. This Wong Kim Ark court case, look it up and read it for yourself. Wong Kim Ark, his parents were legal citizens. So when he was born, they tried to remove his citizenship, and he took it to the Supreme Court and won because his family, his father and his mother, were quite literally legal citizens. But when you hear this lamestream media speak about this, they don't even bring up the fact that his parents were citizens. They were legal residents in the United States. So Wong Kim Ark do not apply to every Tom, Dick, and Juan that comes over to America and drops off a baby. It applied for Wong Kim Ark because of the fact that his parents were already legal residents. But I want you to see how they skip over the part of his parents being legal residents. I want you to see how this descendant of Wong Kim Ark will sit here and act as if he's so afraid because he don't know what's going to happen. And his family went through A, B, and C, when at the end of the day, they won because of the fact that their parents, Wong Kim Ark's parents, were both legal residents of America. Look this case up for yourself, family. Exactly, my sister Sweet Butters. More weaponized language. Let's get into it.
Automatic citizenship to U.S.-born babies if neither parent is a citizen or legal permanent resident. For Norman Wong, this legal battle echoes a constitutional dispute that was settled more than a century ago. Amid a wave of anti-Chinese sentiment in the late 1800s, the U.S. government tried to prevent Wong's Chinese-American great-grandfather, Wong Kim Ark, from re-entering the country after visiting his parents in China. They argue that despite him being born in the U.S., he was...
Now, that's another thing that was very much so deceptive. He didn't just go visit his parents This has been going on for a while. He was born in America, and then he went and stayed in China for more than 10 years and then came back. And America said, hey, dude, you ain't no American. You got to get your ass up out of here. Deportation. And he said, no, wait a second. No, I was born here. My parents were legal residents here in America. That's what happened. He was born here. He went there for more than 10 years. He came back and then had to fight that case. And not just that situation, but if you really look at what's been going on with the Chinese, this was one of your first cases of birth tourism. Yes, this was the first case of birth tourism. Let's continue.
The U.S. government tried to prevent Wong's Chinese-American great-grandfather, Wong Kim Ark, from re-entering the country after visiting his parents in China. They argued that despite him being born in the U.S., he was not a citizen.
He came back in 1895. He was stopped from entering the United States and forced to remain on the boat, the collector of customs.
Notice he said he came back in 1895. He never said how long he was gone. Notice he said he came back in 1895, but he never ever mentioned how long he was gone, did he? Let's continue.
Decided that the 1882 Chinese Exclusion Act was enforced, and he didn't recognize Wong Kim Ark's birthright citizenship.
In March 1898, the Supreme Court rejected the government's claim and ruled that the Constitution's 14th Amendment guarantees citizenship to nearly everyone born on U.S. soil, including children of foreign nationals like Wong. That decision has stood for 128 years, but its understanding will once again be contested on Wednesday.
Probably around 25 years ago that I first learned about Wong Kim Ark. But at that time, I didn't appreciate what he accomplished. And I didn't really appreciate the fact that he won a victory for birthright citizenship. Now, we want to do it by executive order and chip away at what these things mean or rights. That means with executive orders, if you could do away with a right through the constitutional amendment system, then those actually don't matter anymore.
Shout out to you again, my queen sister. Looking like Native Americans to me, perhaps cousins. Yes, they're cousins because he's Chinese and the quote unquote red Native Americans are Siberians. He looks like the Siberian from Russia who crossed the Bering Straits over into Alaska. And then when Alaska became a part of America, they were grandfathered in as quote unquote Native Americans because they were already there when America purchased the land. But yeah, I agree with you 100-fold. He looks like those Reds, which proves those Reds ain't us. Shout out to you, my queen sister. Thank you for that once again. And also, let me give a B1 salute, a certified shalom to our good brother, V for Vengeance in the damn building. Much love to you, my brother. Much love to you. Let's continue, shall we? The Caucasian, huh? Yeah, brother, you already know, Masa. You already know. If there was, what is the Asian version of meatball? What is the Asian version of meatball? Somebody tell me real quick. Is it rice ball? Is it rice ball? Would that be the version? Shout out to our good brother Masa Musa. Sasquatch ball. Oh, I love it. I love it, good sir. Oh man. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some variations of those meatballs, Pauls, because there's a lot of them. You know what I mean? We got the Goya meatballs, the Sanchoon meatballs. What we call it? Let's say, I don't even want to call them Italian meatballs. We got too many meatballs around here. We got to come up with names for each and every one of these meatballs. That's crazy. Bush meat meatball. Bush meatballs. Oh, family. Bat balls. Oh, dragon balls. That means you got to collect them all, don't you? they went from Dragon Balls to Pokemon. Beat 31 charges and security violations. I feel it. I feel it. Let's continue, shall we? Hold on. What you say? Siberians are commodities of the U.S. Clowns. Okay. Hey, since you put it into the chat, you know what I gotta do, family. I am a servant.
Send in the clowns.
A B1 salute to our sister Darlene. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, family. Much love to you. Now let's continue here because I got a couple more things to show you. Just a couple more videos, and then we're going into the Drewski situation. And that right there, we got some stuff to talk about. Let's go.
To his life, Wong says he barely thought about citizenship until history began repeating itself. For him, this challenge feels personal and unsettling.
My citizenship, I took for granted since I was a child. I was born here, and it was only obvious that I was an American, and that's how I saw myself. 25 years ago, I didn't think any question of birthright citizenship would ever affect me.
Trump contends that for generations, the U.S. has given citizenship to people who don't qualify, those who were in the U.S. illegally or temporarily. If the Supreme Court endorses that view, that could affect the legal status of as many as 250,000 babies born each year.
I hope the court will stand by what the court had done 128 years ago. This citizenship, birthright citizenship, speaks to the American identity. Most Americans in this country owe their citizenship to birthright citizenship.
So what you're saying there, Mr. Wong, is that most Americans in the country owes everything to foundational Black Americans, but yet them some of bitches get over here and they start talking about what they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay reparations. I wasn't here when your family went through that, when your ancestors went through that, but yet you migrate to a country that owes a debt. Owes a debt to foundational Black Americans. And see, that's the reason why I wasn't so caught up off of America saying that we don't recognize the right to have to pay out, reparations to anybody for something that was happening when it was legal. They wanted us to focus on that. But I would never focus on that. You know why? Because they owe us reparations. It was not legal then. And even the president of the United States signed into law that we were owed by signing into law the Field Order 15. It was another president that came over and took it back from us, who stole it from us. We are owed by this country. I don't give a damn what they want to do or not. It is owed. It is already there in history. It is solidified. It is solidified. We are not them and they are not us. And this is why. And shout out once again, Asians colonized a lot of the land like white people. If you look around the globe, and you're absolutely right, because that's what they consider themselves to be. Remember, the Nabisco, he's Caucasian. Caucasian. So technically, Asians are quite literally Nabiscos too. Except for, the original Asians who are black. Absolutely. We are owed with interest. You ain't lying. With interest. China got over big time, and they continue to do so, especially with this. We're going to get into that in a hot second. Shout out to you, Lillian. Thank you for that comment. That contribution is going to lead into the very next thing that we're going to be jumping into, my sister. Thank you. Exactly. The Asiatic black man / woman. You see, there's the Asiatic and then there's the Asian. In the very same way, when you go to Palestine and all those folks are talking about we're Israelites. No. They don't call themselves Israelites over there, do they? No, they call themselves Israelis because they have no direct blood tie to us. They have no direct bloodline to the Israelites. They know they're not the people of the book. And that's why they call themselves Israelis and not Israelites. Shout out to our brother Masa Musa for bringing that up. I be trying to tell people all the time, wordplay is very, very, very much at play here. It is very simple if you allow it to be. All you got to do is listen and then watch. Read up on the history of these places and then listen to what these people say and watch it. That's how they move. You know how the Israelis had to admit that they're not the people of the Bible? Because people was holding them accountable, saying, hey, the people of the Bible had dark hue. How are you Israelites? The Khazar had to come in. Like I said, if y'all want to know, you can read the Jewish Encyclopedia to tell you all about the Khazars. It's spelled with a K, not a C. But in the Jewish Encyclopedia, it's spelled with a CH, not a K. I just gave you a tidbit of information on that. But the Ish-like people are not the people of that land, and they know it. They know it. They converted. They converted. And if you don't believe me, I got a whole goddamn documentary right here on this goddamn platform. It's called The Anti-Black Racism of the Jewish Community. Y'all can look that up. Go ahead, watch it. You'll have a greater understanding. It also talks about the ADL and how the ADL was formed. It also speaks about how they use the word anti-Semitic in order to just to shut people up because they know that people don't know the definition of anti-Semitic. So the definition of that term changes all the time. At this point in time, anti-Semitic just means you hurt my feelings. Let's be very clear. These people know they're not us, and we know they're not them in the very same way that the Asiatic know that the Asian is not them, and they are not them. But I digress. It's very important to know history. And that's why I give so much love to people like Tariq, to people like goddamn Dr. Ma'at. Well, not Dr. Ma'at. Dr. Azar Quasi is who I was going. I don't know why Dr. Ma'at came out. But Dr. Azar Quasi, I got major love for Dr. Herrick Clark. John Herrick Clark. I got major love for Dr. Yosef Ben. All the people that taught us history here and overseas, I give much love and praise to, because of the fact that if you do not know history, you are doomed to repeat it. I am a student of the grand master teachers of our communities, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Malcolm X. All of our grand master teachers taught us well. We just need to take the time to actually use what was taught to us. And you're right there too. Palestinians are and Indians are Asiatic as well. The original Palestinians, dark-skinned ones, not the bright ones. The original Indians, the ones that are there that looks darker than Kamala, the people that Kamala's family do not like, who put it in the caste system, Shout out to Mia Kim. She said they're all like their Caucasian cousins. The world 83 knows who we are, and you are absolutely right, my sister. Let's get back into this because, like I said, I got a few more clips that I want to play before we get into the Drewski. And I know that our good brother Black Alpha is going to be going on at about 7:15, 7:30, like he usually does. And so I'm going to make sure to get this through real quick. Let's go here. Hold on. Let's finish this out, and then we're going to move over.
The ones that don't are the indigenous people.
We are the indigenous people. What do you mean? The ones that don't are the indigenous people. We are the indigenous people. And if you're talking about the people that came over from the Bering Straits, your cousins, Putin's Mexicans, no, they owe us too. Now, let's go to this clip, family.
The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing a case on birthright citizenship on Wednesday. President Donald Trump is trying to change it with an executive order. He doesn't want it to apply to babies born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants. The 14th Amendment states, quote, persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside, unquote. The Trump administration argues that jurisdiction part empowers Trump's executive order. Critics argue changing birthright citizenship would be logistically challenging. They say U.S. citizens might end up having to document their children's immigration status.
All right, let's go here, family. Oh, I don't know what just happened. Hold on.
In June 1866, Congress approved the 14th Amendment in order to overturn the Dred Scott decision that stripped citizenship from enslaved people and their children. It guaranteed anyone born in America, no matter their race or their parents, would be recognized as a true American. Legal scholar Dr.
No, it didn't say no matter the race and their parents. It said those who are subject to the jurisdiction of America. Continue.
Dr. John Eastman says, while the amendment's original intent stayed strong for about 75 years, over time that began to shift.
Somehow it just kind of worked into our nation's psyche that if you're just born here, that's all that's necessary. And that's never what that amendment said or intended. It was very clear. They were codifying the 1866 Civil Rights Act. The word they used was temporary sojourners.
Eastman argues that concept of temporary sojourners is key to the true meaning of the 14th Amendment. On his first day back in office, President Trump moved quickly to challenge its current interpretation. He signed an executive order blocking automatic U.S. citizenship for children born on American soil if their mothers were in the country illegally or visiting on a temporary visa. Trump says he acted out of concern that visitors and undocumented immigrants took advantage of the system, coming here specifically to give birth so their children could be citizens.
Hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves.
Supreme Court justices are expected to decide on this issue before its current term ends this summer. This isn't the first time, however, the court has taken up this question. It happened in the landmark 1898 case, United States versus Wong Kim Ark. In that case, the court ruled that a child born here to Chinese immigrant parents who were legal permanent residents living and working here and not diplomats was a U.S. citizen at birth under the 14th Amendment. Eastman
was a citizen at birth under the 14th Amendment. Like I said, you can look this case up yourself. I've been talking about this case for a while, and I keep telling people that they keep misusing this case to try to say that, oh yeah, anybody that drop a baby is an American citizen. No, this man was already a citizen. They were just codifying the fact that he was a citizen. Shout out to Sharice in the building, my sister. Thank you for being here. Let's continue.
Argues that decision shows birthright citizenship is really about national allegiance, not just legal jurisdiction.
If you're a temporary sojourner and you still owe your allegiance to a foreign power, your king or the emperor of China or whatever, then this clause does not give you your children automatic citizenship.
Journalist Peter Schweizer warns the current understanding of birthright citizenship could threaten the integrity of American elections. Schweizer and his investigative team tracked more than 1,000 Chinese birth tourism surrogacy companies and discovered a growing birth tourism industry run by the Chinese government. Among the companies examined, Star Baby Care, a company that publicly lists its clients, including government tax officials, executives at China Telecom, Chinese Central Television, and Bank of China. Also, China Mifu Baby Group and You Win USA. They advertise services aimed at Chinese elites and promote U.S. citizenship benefits on their websites. And
are y'all catching that, family? When I said Won Kim Ark is basically like the first, birth tourism, and now China is over there doing all the birth tourisms, and they're even bragging about the birth tourism. They got companies for birth tourism. Oh yeah, you thought I was joking? No. I was not joking. Shout out to Sharice. Much love to you, and thank you for your super sticker. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution as always, my sister Queen. I appreciate it. And shout out to our good brother Tay, the man in the building. Much love to you, my good brother. Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you. Now, let's continue, shall we?
Chinese social media. Other firms like USA Happy Baby are tied to clients from China's Ministry of Propaganda and Public Security Bureau.
They brag about who their clients are. They are military officers, intelligence officers, propagandists. These are the heartbeat of the Chinese Communist Party system. And it begs the question, why would the Chinese Communist Party be encouraging people like this to do this with their children? And I'm going to say it's not because they're doing it in our interest.
In recent remarks before a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee hearing on birthright citizenship, Schweizer revealed that pregnant wives of top Communist Party officials are sent to the United States to have their babies and then return home. He lays it out in his latest book, The Invisible Coup, How American Elites and Foreign Powers Use Immigration as a Weapon, and explains that after birth and automatic U.S. citizenship, the child is raised in China. At age 18, these individuals can return to the United States and vote in American elections, since they are citizens by birth.
Then the question becomes scale. How many people are we talking about? And it turns out it's massive. The Chinese government believes that on average, over the course of the last 13 years, every single year, roughly on average, 100,000 Chinese babies have been born in the United States or on our territories, places like Saipan.
According to Schweizer, that means over the past decade, at least 1 million future American voters have grown up in China under the Communist Party's influence.
They're going to be able to vote in our elections. That's a massive intrusion into our internal politics. To put that number into perspective, Gary, let's remember the 2016 election, Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. That was settled by 72,000 votes. So 1 million votes from China obviously could swing a presidential election easily.
And their allegiance would be to China and the Communist Party, not to the United States and the democratic process, correct?
Yes, that's exactly right. These are the children of the elite. These are not dissidents.
Legal experts say the Supreme Court could soon narrow who qualifies for citizenship under the 14th Amendment. That could mean children born to undocumented immigrants or even temporary visa holders, like pregnant Chinese visitors, may no longer be granted citizenship at birth. If the justices go that route, it would mark a dramatic change from what Americans have known for generations. The Supreme Court will hear arguments in Trump versus Barbara on April 1st. Gary Lane, CBN News.
So there's a lot of things going on April 1st, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much going on April 1st. And you know what? Isn't April 1st a holiday? Oh, yeah, April Fool's Day. Okay, so maybe all the fools will understand what's going to happen after April 1st. Maybe they'll just think that it's a joke. Maybe they'll think it's a joke. You think they'll think it's a joke, family? Do you think that they'll be running around here saying, oh, whatever the Supreme Court was listening to is a joke? Oh, illegals not being able to qualify for, any food stamp or those type of programs, that's a joke. Don't worry. April 2nd, we'll be able to go and get those things. Oh, family, I cannot wait for April 2nd. Shout out to our sister Starte Jones. Sounds familiar with the tethers in the key positions. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Sweet Butters. Arcata, California 21. Babies taken from Chinese couples. 21 babies? Damn. I'm gonna have to look into that. I ain't been to Arcata in a long time. Arcata is one of those places, you know. My brother went to school when he went to college. The first college he went to was Humboldt State. That's up there in Arcata or by Arcadia. And I had to drive through there. Y'all got those goddamn little mountains that got like one car roads and stuff. You got to stay close to the mountain in order to make sure you don't slide the hell off. Like, I don't like Arcata at all. Like, Jesus Christ. Arcata is not somewhere I want to be. But family, like I said, tomorrow is going to be a hell of a day, and I'm going to be watching and waiting to see what happens there. Salute and shalom to our queen sister in the building. Stolen ancestors. I love you, my sister. How have you been? I'm going to give you a call after this. Hold up. Don't make me cuss you out about April 2nd. You gonna cuss me out about April 2nd, sis? Okay. All right. We're going to talk about that after this. Okay. We're going to talk about that after this. Don't worry. I want to know exactly what you mean. Like, why am I going to get cussed out? What did I do? Shout out to Lillian. First green card, Kim Wong. Oh, family. I love each and every one of you. Trust me when I say you guys are way too on point and hilarious. This is what family do. Now, let's get into the Drewski situation, shall we? Let's get into the Drewski situation. So in case you guys didn't see it, I know you guys saw it, but in case you didn't see it, this is the situation. Drewski dressed up like Erica Kirk. I know it's your birthday, but why would you be mad at me when I say I can't wait for... There's a lot of good things happening for April 2nd. I mean, I'm just saying, sis, like, there's a lot of great things happening April 2nd. You know, I love you, sis. Big hearts. Big hearts. God dang it. All right. This is what Drewski did when it came down to Erica Kirk.
Get on your feet.
War is raging in Iran. We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all
the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic hot cup. Yes, everything organic. Oh, say the fast star spangled banner yet waves over the land of the free.
4, 3, 7. Oh, are you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Shout out to Drewski. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not too much of a Drewski fan. I'm not gonna lie and say that I am, but his last few couple of skits have been hilarious. The goddamn skit with the goddamn redneck, that was hilarious. The skit with the preacher, that was hilarious. And this skit, that was hilarious. So I'm becoming more of a fan for Drewski at this point in time. Not as a fan, but as somebody who respects his body of work, because he does, he does a lot of different type of, skits. And usually black folks are the butt of the jokes. Even at this, right? Erica is the butt of the joke, but this brother here, this brother in the background here, he became the butt of the joke at the end. You dig what I'm saying? And it was still funny. And he made it even funnier by looking at, look. Hold up.
All white men in America.
This whole part right here had me in tears. Shout out LT the Mighty in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. This had me in tears. And then he went on to go.
Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
I don't care. This man right here made this skit at the end. This dude right here made me like, I was glad that he was in the skit. And shout out to Drewski for putting him in the skit. This was hilarious. This was hilarious. And you know what else I got to say about this situation, family? Shout out to our sister FBA, chosen by God in the building. Much love to you, my sister Queen, and thank you for being here. Let me explain to you what I also believe about this situation. Drewski is an amazing actor just off of the 3 skits that I saw. He's an amazing actor. And I would say Marlon Wayans was on a podcast talking about if this new Scary Movies that's about to drop does well, then they're going to do a new Don't Be a Menace. They're going to do a Don't Be a Menace to Society, Don't Be a Menace 2. And then they were going to do a new White Girls movie, do a White Girls 2. Bro, if you're listening, if any of the Waynes are listening, if this comes across your desk, I'm going to need you to go ahead and get Drewski to go ahead and jump into White Chicks 2. Y'all can make him like y'all intern police officer and y'all go undercover once again. Because this is hilarious and this is comedy gold. This is comedy gold. I don't give a damn what anybody has to say, including the Nabiscos. Let's get into what the Nabiscos had to say, shall we? Hold up. April Silverman says, comedian Drewski just released a skit mocking Erica Kurt in TPUSA. He has gone too far. My thoughts. I don't get offended. I don't care about whiteface or blackface, or even though it seems like it's only acceptable one way. Honestly, I didn't find any of this funny. Sometimes, like White Chicks, it's funny to me. Oh, you didn't find it funny. I found it hilarious. I was ecstatic to see that. My brother, you know what? Shout out to my brother Smoke, who sent me the goddamn video in the first place. I cried. And I usually don't cry over skits. But I was sitting there laughing so hard, the tears was running down the sides of my face. It wasn't funny to you, but it was funny to me. Something like White Chicks is funny to me. This just isn't. I don't even get what we're looking at here. And I really wish people would leave the widow of Erica Kirk alone. What the hell are you talking about, you dumb chick? And I really wish people would leave the widow of Erica Kirk alone. You want us to leave Erica Kirk alone? You know what? Pause. Put a pin in that. We'll get back to it. Leave the widow, Erica Kirk, alone. The Bible warns against going after widows, and I'm tired of seeing people obsessing over her. You're tired of seeing people obsess over her? Okay, all right. There's clearly some kind of derangement syndrome. Really? 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 I wish I had a drop. I might have to find a drop that says, bitch, please. That's the drop that I need. I tell you what. Anybody out there, this is to all of my members, all of the people who follow the channel, all of the family and the Patreons. I want to ask you for a favor. I need a new drop. And I need it to be the bitch please drop. It got to be bitch please. I don't care where you get it. I don't care if you record it yourself. But I need a drop. So family, whoever can send that type of drop to me, please send it to the Church of Black Power, all one word, at gmail.com. And the funniest one will be added to the collection, but I will give a B1 salute and a shout out to each and every person that sends me anything for that drop. Let me say that again. I will give a B1 certified salute. I will start off a broadcast letting everybody know I want to give a B1 salute to these people here for sending me all that they sent me. May the best person win. May the best FBA win. Much love to all of you. If I find you one, you got to find me. If I find you one, I got to find one for me too. I feel you, brother. I feel you. So why don't you go and get that done, brother? You know you want to drop. You know you want to drop. Oh, shout out to Snatch Adams. He said, y'all remember when Jackie O went on a grifting tour after JFK was alive? Neither do I. You know, hey, neither do I, because that woman went and got with his mortal enemy right after, married that man's mortal enemy. That was crazy to me. Anyhow, let's get back over here, family. So, here's another one. Breaking news. Comedian Drewski just released a skit mocking Erica Kirk in TPUSA. He has gone too far. Family, you know the family in the chat was all up on him. Which one is Drewski? Mad at a comedian cosplaying? You whites are so fragile. Oh, you're absolutely right. John Blick, you're absolutely right. They're not just fragile, they're very fickle. They are very fickle. look at this one. Look at Chris Johnson. He says, I'm betting you wouldn't think that it was funny. It would be funny if a fat ass, gross white man dressed in blackface and acted like him. I bet you wouldn't think it was funny. It wouldn't be funny because you guys have no comedical sense. You guys think that dressing up in blackface and doing derogatory situations or doing stereotypic type situations is funny. It's not. See, the difference between you and Drewski actually put some thought into what he was doing and he made it funny. He didn't just go up there dressing like Erica Kirk eating a bowl of mayonnaise. If he was, I wouldn't have found it funny. I would have found it disgusting. He didn't dress up like Erica Kirk and go to, I don't know, a ranch to try to jack off a horse. I wouldn't have found that funny. But see, Drewski made this funny because he's talented enough to make it funny. He's talented enough to make it funny. Unlike you Nabisco comedians, you think just spewing racism, anti-black racism should be funny. The same thing with that goddamn Asian dude talking about, my only problem with ICE is that they're not getting enough black people. None of you are funny. We're funny. That's why we keep telling you mother lovers to just leave us alone. Yeah, that's what you should do. You should just leave us alone. You dig me? Now, let's go here because we're going to get through a couple of things. Shout out to our brother, the Black Tucker Carlson Jr. Because Grok out here confirming stuff. It says, please confirm, Grok. Is this Erica Kirk? Grok said yes. That's Erica Kirk, CEO of Turning Point USA and the widow of Charlie Kirk. The photo matches her appearance from recent public appearances and events. You can't make this up. This is golden. This is golden comedy, family. This is why I'm glad I didn't right away do something on this, because I'd have missed a lot of the comedy behind the comedy. Oh, family, this is good. Let's go here.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
To protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Don't let anyone.
I don't give a damn what anybody has to say. This is dead on. I don't know who his makeup artist is, but I got to give a kudos. I got to give a golf clap to whoever his makeup artist is, because this jawline alone on god dang point. God dang it. The fact that they was able to hide his beard under her jawline, that right there, family, hilarious. And this was put out because a lot of people was, with the backlash and stuff, and folks was like, hey, he got her cadence down to a fault. To a fault. Let's go here, family. We're almost through this. We're almost through it. Let's go here.
We usually did before tours. We said our prayer and we asked the Lord to protect us. And we asked the Lord that his will be done. That's what we did.
At one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business.
We usually did before tours. We said our prayer.
Tell me Drewski did not nail this. Tell me he didn't nail it. It's right there. It's right there. I don't give a damn, man. I was not a fan of Drewski, but I'm loving him now. I'm not gonna lie. The thing about Drewski is he's a balanced type of comedian. He makes fun. He does skits about all kinds of people. Black, white, Asian, all kinds of people. So I can't even be mad at him for some of the other skits that I didn't like. Because I like these, to be honest with you. I didn't like that other skit where he was dressed like a Dominican with the freaking tube top and he's eating like hot chips and he's just dancing and the belly's just rumbling. Not because of the fact he was dressed like a Dominican, but that was just, it was unsettling for me to see all that jelly moving like that. You know what I mean? It was just unsettling for me. But this is more my speed. I like this type of comedy. Let's go. Oh, Snatch Adams, trust me, my good brother, you are getting ahead of the goddamn class. I tell you, you all are so intelligent. You guys continuously move ahead of the class all damn day. Yeah, remember when they were handing George Zimmerman bags of Skittles and cans of Arizona's to sign? We're going to get there, family. We're going to get there. Shout out to you. Put a pin in that. We'll pull it out in a hot second. Now, you can't blame anybody when Erica Kirk has put this on herself. She was the one going out doing stuff like this.
We are Charlie.
Erica Kirk out here doing black TikTok dances to celebrate her husband, who was anti-black, getting a Memorial Highway. Do I have to say that again to make it make sense? Really, it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to try to make sure people understand how much it doesn't make sense. Erica Kirk was out there doing black TikTok dances for her husband getting a Memorial Highway, the same Erica Kirk whose husband was anti-black. Why are you doing black dances, Erica? Are you trying to say something without saying it? Are you trying to say something without saying it, Erica?
We are Charlie.
Looking like unseasoned meat trying to get off the grill. You ever put down a goddamn piece of chicken and it just sizzles to the part when it pops off the grill? Because scientifically the grill was too hot apparently, but apparently for me it was the chicken didn't want to be on the grill. That's what she looks like, an unsalted chicken trying to get off of the grill. Let's run it back one more time, please.
We are Charlie.
Raw lobster, you ain't right, J.M. Von Doom, brother. You ain't right. You are not right whatsoever. B1 salute to our sister FBA chosen by God. I don't see nothing grieving about that. There's no grievance. There's no grieving here. Okay, no grieving. But shout out to my sister once again, FBA chosen by God, for becoming a member. Much love to you, my sister queen. Your donation is blessed tenfold, and I appreciate your contribution. And I hope you enjoy the channel. Well, the back channel. Much love to you, my sister queen. Yeah, she out here celebrating, looking like a chicken that ain't been seasoned, that don't know how to flap its wings. But let's get here, because I want y'all to understand something. OSHA is having a field day with this one. OSHA says, I thought I saw my husband in the skit for a second. Damn. I thought I saw my husband in the skit for a second. Family, god dang. Family, you know OSHA wasn't liking what she was seeing with that goddamn situation with her husband getting rubbed on in the head. He wrapping his arms around her, looking all sensual. I did a broadcast on it. It's called Damn JD. Now OSHA out here trying to get her lick back. She like, I thought that was my husband in the skit for a second. She can have fun with it. Why ain't Erica having fun with it? Why? Nah, let's go here.
Drewski is 100% gonna get sued by Erica Kirk and Turning Point for doing that shit. It's too accurate. It's too funny, and yeah, she go on a suing spree, right? You start telling the truth about Erica and TPUSA, she's gonna sue, like she's doing Candace. Drewski is 100% gonna get sued by Erica Kirk and Turning Point for doing that shit. It's too accurate. It's too funny, and yeah, she go on a suing spree, right? You start telling the truth about Erica and TPUSA, she's gonna sue.
So when I saw this video clip, I was like, nah, she ain't got no standing because this is a parody and it's comedy, so you can't sue when it's a parody situation. I had to include this video clip after saying that, family, because right after I go online and I come across this. This is Erica Kirk. Drewski says this. He says, Erica Kirk sent me a cease and desist trying to sue me over a skit. LOL. Little does she know, parodies is protected. It's comedy, not defamation. Y'all got to stop trying to take jokes to court. And I agree with Drewski there. Shout out to him for even putting that out there like that. Like, hey, you might think that this is going to work, but that just shows how stupid you are, Nabisco. That just shows how unintelligent you are. Parodies and comedies are all protected under the First Amendment. So shout out to him for that. Shout out to him for that. And not only that, hold on 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. Okay. Have to make sure I ain't had no text there. Got the little something pop in on me. The MAGA guys got so mad after he put that out there that they had to make an AI video out of it. Let's go.
If I could be anything, I let it show. Yeah. I'ma put my blonde wig on and my long hair flow. I'ma let my long hair flow. Whoa. Yeah, I'ma step outside. Daylight hit my white glow, hit my white glow. I'ma put my blonde wig on and my long hair flow. I'ma let my long hair flow. Whoa. Yeah, I'ma step outside. Daylight hit my white glow.
Oh, I love white chicks. I want to be white so bad.
Yeah, drew out with this buzz, yeah. AK Drisky, big body, big jokes. But this ain't just me. Built a whole life all making y'all laugh. I'm tearing myself up under the net. Say it out loud so they don't say it first. I'm fat, I'm ugly. Beat them to the words, turn pain to a bit, make a crowd go crazy.
These mannerisms are key to nailing the voice. Their confidence is what I need. I can do this. Let me get the number 1 extra large and 30 of them fish fillet.
Okay, 30 filet fish. Anything else?
10 orders for the 20-piece chicken McNuggets. Oh, child, I love this piece of chicken. Oh, this seems getting good. I knew she was going to say that.
Almost done with this look. These chips are hitting the spot.
Oh, I just want to be a white woman so bad. Look at this tutu. It's perfect for her and not for me. I'll have the whole menu, please. Yes, everything.
The whole menu? Are you sure?
Now, I'm not going to lie. That was probably the best response that the Nabiscos could have ever gave, because the rest of them was out there whining like a mother lover. Like, there was actually some funny parts in this stuff, like not funny, but like, damn, like if it's a roast, then damn, Drewski, you got to get a get back on this one. But this is their get back. So, I'm not going to say that they did a good job there. I'm just saying that this is better than going online and whining. Must have been the Tesla that made that video. Shout out to OG New York in the building. Much love to you, family. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that comment. Now, you feeling it. I feel you. That's 100% correct. It gotta be a Tesla that made that. They were mad. Oh, you disrespecting Mama Kirk is what they said. You dig me? But apparently, Erica Kirk allegedly got pissed off at Elon for allowing this, and she got at Elon, and Elon got a clap back on her. Let's go here.
Elon Musk shutting Erica Kirk down all over the Drewski skit where he impersonated a lot of Erica Kirk's famous moments. For press interviews, Erica's mini podcast interviews, complete with the Holy Bible, absolutely terrifying crazy-eyed stare. I say Drewski absolutely nailed. She has since taken to social media demanding that the video be taken down, alleging that it was AI and that he should have been able to take this down immediately. It's clearly not AI, it is a comedian who is dressing up and impersonating her in a funny way. G then tagged Elon Musk himself and said it's racked over 150 million views. It's humiliating. It's mocking me, turning me into a global joke. Really proving that she hasn't been seeing any of the videos people have been making about her, because even some of her biggest defenders are now questioning all of her motives since her husband's death. Elon Musk himself being one of those who simply told Erica Kirk he was not going to take any of the videos down. The video has 150 million views because people want to watch it. It supports free speech, comedy, parody, and content people choose to engage with. We are not removing lawful content just because it offends somebody. That is not how this platform works. Entire internet feud happening just a short time after Elon Musk himself reposted Erica Kirk's post where she told the world to go to church. So we shall see how far she takes this fight and how many views this video will get. Not Elon Musk.
Nah, family, I am too amused. I am too amused. And with all the people out there being wambulances, wham, you in after Mama Kirk. As our sister said, the new Mother Teresa to them. Oh, you went after Mama Kirk. You went after Mama Kirk. Only Angela Stratton King, another, I ain't gonna say tap dancing bootlick because I don't see her as a bootlick, but I do see her as somebody who allows herself to be used. But she also do be speaking up for the community from time to time too. But she also be saying some messed up stuff about the community from time to time. So she is a really oddball in this whole situation. But she decided to speak up. I'm confused when little tiny Terrence puts a wig on and mocks Maxine Waters or Jasmine Crockett, or let me add one, Michelle Obama. Conservatives laugh. But when Drewski puts on a wig to mock Erica Kirk, now it's offensive? Be consistent. Either it's comedy or it isn't. And god dang it, when Angela Stratton King is the voice of not just reason, but god dang it, telling the damn mad guys, hey, are we accepting this as comedical or not? Pick a side. I got to give a shout out to her for that one. You know, I don't shout out Angela King a lot. Really, hardly ever. But I got to give her at least a shout out for that one. That's facts. Now, let's get over to what Cat Dance had to say about it, shall we? Oh, yeah, you know Cat Dance had to respond. Cat Dance had to respond. Let's see what she had to say.
Get on your feet!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America.
So good.
Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who matter the most.
Okay, that black guy didn't say a single word, and so just takes away the entire scene. Just perfect faces that he's making behind him. This is how everybody's feeling. Everybody, for the first time, it's not left or right. It's like everyone's united in feeling this. It feels fake. It feels wrong. They are trying to use this idea of Christianity as a shield, and I was hinting on that again. Removing Erica Kirk from the scenario, I was noticing all of these women that make videos. They're just catty. They're just influencers, but they try to find a Bible verse. It's like, I'm not actually catty. This is the Bible verse. Stop doing that. Just stop doing that. Now do conservative Black women, guys. I think he's referring to me. I don't know. Drewski, you have my permission. If you want to do a skit about me, that works. Andrew, why are you so mad?
Drewski, please do a skit about camp dance. Please.
Why are you so mad? Now do conservative Black women. What are you talking about? I've been made fun of by the left since I started my career. Like, I've been on Saturday Night Live. They made fun of me. Dave Chappelle did a skit about me. My response was, this is funny. It's cool. It's legendary that Dave Chappelle knows my name. You want to know why you're mad? Because you're guilty. Your conscience is bothering you. You're angry that you have so much money, power to the White House. You can get Scott Besson to issue a letter and say, Turning Point is in great financial standing. Imagine having that much power, but actually no influence.
Family, can't dance is giddy. Yeah, family, I don't want to hear nothing about anybody talking about how, God dang it, this is too far. She's a widow and this, that, and the third. This is too far. Her husband just died no longer than a few weeks ago. Y'all didn't have that same kind of energy. Y'all didn't keep that same kind of energy for us. All of a sudden, it's too far. All of a sudden, it's too far. All of a sudden, it's too far. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, ain't it? Or is it what's good for the gander is good for the geese? Regardless, what's good for the geese is good for the gander. Right? Is this too far? It wasn't too far when George Floyd's daughter had to look online and see all of this? When Trayvon Martin's family had to go online and see all of this? It wasn't too far? It wasn't too far? Yeah. It was just fine. Because you folks expect us to give you more than what you would give to us. You can kiss my black ass. Let me give up B. Worry and Reigns for this.
So I'm sure all of y'all by now have already seen that skit that Drewski did when he was talking about conservative women and how they act, in which he parodied Erica Kirk. And let me just say, this might have been one of the funniest on-point, accurate skits he's done so far. And he's done a couple of them, but this one right here definitely takes the cake. For the simple fact that this is how Erica Kirk literally acts. And I didn't really see nothing wrong with it. And I hope he continues to go forward with it and continue to piss them off and do it very unapologetically. But what I also found to be very interesting and funny is how you have posts like the one that's at the bottom when it says, I usually find you funny and amusing, but the woman you're parodying here lost her husband in a public assassination, and her laughing at just brain rot in a meme and all this other stuff. And it's like, he's not making fun of the fact that she lost her husband in the way that she did. He's making fun of her actions after the fact. And they are so mad about that, but these be the same people that will sit up there all the time and tell you to stop being a victim, stop being a snowflake, stop being this, stop being that. But that's exactly how they're acting. And we can't talk about how many times they made George Floyd a meme since he died back in 2020, and they do it every year. And his anniversary, of that is coming up at the end of May, so they about to do it again. So I don't know what in the world they're talking about. I would argue that that's even worse. They even tried to say that Drewski was doing whiteface when this is clearly not whiteface, and whiteface isn't even a historical thing. Now blackface really is. But I think what made this whole thing even funnier was when Grok, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, AI, when someone was asking about, is this Erica Kirk? And this is what Grok came back with. It said, that's Erica Kirk, the actress comedian starring in Drewski's satirical skit. She's playing over-the-top conservative woman character across all those scenes. Patriotism, faith, organic, everything, and the podium bit. Spot on performance for the last, and they put a crying laughing emoji. The fact that Grok Twitter's AI actually thought that was Erica Kirk doing a spoof of even herself, involving with Drewski is hilarious. I thought that was probably the funniest part of this whole thing. So, hey, I got a good laugh at it. Y'all let me know. Did y'all get one too? So I'm sure all of y'all.
Oh, I had a hell of a laugh at that one. I laughed until I cried down the side of my eyes. And so when people are putting up stuff like this, if racism is racism, then why only it applies? Why only apply that rule when it's convenient? No, here's the difference. This right here is systematically racism. This is backed by systematic racism. This right here is just all fun and games. It's comedy. It's jokies. It's ha fun. This right here calls Jim Crow laws. This right here causes nothing but hurt feelings. Do not equate the two. And plus, truly, Drewski isn't doing whiteface. You know why? Because his grandfather is white. Let's go here. Shout out to Cash Flow Harlem.
Get on your feet.
Get up on your feet, fo. Drewski. Oh, I mean Erica. Peep, yo. Now she got sturdy. This OD, yo. Big ass got down, almost broke her knees, yo. What's up with this press conference? We need white chicks too. Somebody call Marlon. The fake heartfelt and the fake sobbing. I don't know what she's saying, but the bitch lying. You think we dumb? It's either you or it's Kelly Clarkson. Watching this got me done. Chappelle walked so Drewski could run. Looking like Auntie Granny, wow. Why she looking like this in the camera now? The makeup artist did wonders, child. With that jawline, it thinking wow. This was type slick. I know Erica looking like this. But I mean, why even bother? This is Drewski and his grandfather.
So Drewski, when he said that I have the right to do this, this is what he was talking about, apparently. Apparently. Yeah, family. So in conclusion, I just want to say, anytime I talk about Charlie Kirk or Erica Kirk and their family, this is who I'm going to tell my kids they are. This is the picture that I will be putting up to say Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk, and their children, the Kirk twins, the Kirk little girls. This is what I will be putting up. Shout out to our good brother Christopher Ellis. Thank you for your Cash App donation. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution as always, family. Yeah, family, this is who I'm going to be putting up. This, you got your Charlie Kirk, you got Erica, you got their two little girls. There you go. There you go. I don't have no problem saying that with my full chest. This is who I'm telling people for now on. If you are of generation after me, that Generation X, no, I'm millennial, so Generation Z. Anybody who's under me in another generation who asks about Charlie Kirk, I will be showing them this picture and I will be letting them know that this is Charlie Kirk. This is Erica Kirk, and this is their two children. Do not play. And that is for this day 4th. Now, family, this just hit the desk as well. This just hit the desk as well. Apparently, the next folks that your boy Drewski is going to be impersonating, oh, the small hats. The small hats. He said, I can't recover. Where's the ushers? Y'all get the white gloves out the back and go help our brother. God dang it. Oh, yes, it's going down, and I look forward to it. Shout out to Snatch Adam. Thank you for your super chat. Your donation is blessed tenfold. I appreciate your contribution as always, good brother. Drewski said, my grandfather is white, and I say so. Exactly. Use it. Use it and abuse it. God dang it, since it's working out, use it. They can't say you can dress up in whiteface now, can they? Your grandfather comes from the whiteness. You can say that you can do whatever you want now, can't you? Because your grandfather's white and you say so. Shout out to Drewski. And shout out to Masa Musa. ADL finna be on his ass, especially if he does one on that synagogue in New York that had the beds underground. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I trust that he might just do that. Look at the way he was doing the goddamn the other skit that he did with the church dude. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he might just toss that in there, bro. I'll be elated if he did. But family, with that being said, that was today's news drop. I hope you all enjoyed and learned a bunch. Much love to each and every one of you. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click the link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Yeah, I'm glad I waited on this Drewski situation because a lot more came out after. Oh, man, I've been laughing ever since. I'd like to give a thank you to each and every one of you for being here. Much love to you all the people in the chat, all the people who've donated, all the people who haven't donated, but wish they could. All the people, excuse me, that gas real reflex, excuse me, all the people, my members, my mods, my patrons, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. I want to send a B1 salute out to each and every one of you and a prayer protection over each and every one of you from the Most High. With that being said, family and friends, y'all have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday night. I will see you in Black Alpha Space. It looks like it and got started. B1. 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 With that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever, can't stand us black people. He's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Us black people going to survive. Yeah. So fuck everybody. I'm out.